Imagine being a million miles away. Tremfya Kusakumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
Tolos, as parents, we'd all hope that someone would help our kids if they were in need. You have a chance right now to donate your old car to Cars for Kids. It's easy, free towing, paperwork done, and a tax deduction. Your car helps at-risk kids at Texans Can Academies earn a diploma. Visit carsforkids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
Game day starts with Wrangler, the official jeans of the Dallas Cowboys. This week, the boys are home to take on Kansas City on Thanksgiving Day. Our 105.3 The Fan coverage starts at 12:30 Thursday with the Cavenders kickoff at 3:30.
Welcome to Coffee House. How are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, iced,
Gross.
and to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
I'm a terrible gift giver. Always have been. Just not very good at it. But everybody loves to eat, and that's why I love Omaha Steaks. Whether you're sending an unforgettable gift or treating yourself to everyday perfection, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. And now during the Cyber Sale, you can get 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites at omahasteaks.com. Don't miss the best deals of the season and an exclusive limited time offer. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code Corey at checkout. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. The Cyber Sale is the perfect time to shop for unforgettable gifts, exclusive limited time deals, and more. Save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off statewide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their Cyber Sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code Corey at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code Corey at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details.
105.3 The Fan and the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network present
Touchdown Cowboys!
Dallas Cowboys Football 2025 in crystal clear HD stereo. Today's pregame show is brought to you by
Volleman's Dairy, the official milk of the Dallas Cowboys. Arrow Exterminators, official pest control provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. And by DallasCowboys.com. Keep track of the boys with daily podcasts and up-to-the-minute blogging at DallasCowboys.com and on the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here's Eric Chiafalo and Brian Broaddus.
A glorious day it is for some Cowboys football. Great to have you in the official pregame show of America's team live here at AT&T Stadium, the Miller Lite West Plaza, where the party is a rockin'. A picture-perfect day here in Arlington for some Cowboys Thanksgiving football. I'm Eric Chiafalo alongside the Super Bowl champion, Brian Broaddus. We got you for the next 3 hours and 5 minutes as we take you up to a Thanksgiving kickoff. Broaddus, no place we'd rather be.
No place we'd rather be. Been here doing this Thanksgiving stuff since 1974.
Hello.
Yeah, it's been a while. So
wow.
I've been a part of a lot of these. So it's always exciting to come out and really be the only day, the only game of the day. You know, you've got the three, but then in that
you stand alone, prime time.
Stand alone, and so you got two teams right now that are really trying to find a way to get some momentum going and to try and, you know, the Chiefs trying to find their way. They've always been this playoff team, division-winning team, number one seed type of a team. at 6-5 right now. They've had their struggles. They've had their struggles on the road has been an issue. But their fan base looks like they have turned out. As we look out, I do see a sea of red. And so this will be a fight, not only on the field, but on the in the stands as well, to try and out-cheer Chiefs Nation.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's plenty of Chiefs fans here.
Yeah.
And plenty of Mahomes fans. This is a home game for him. First time starting in the NFL at AT&T Stadium. So he's going to be excited. He's got like 50-plus people here in a suite at AT&T Stadium for today's game. And this could be an all-time record-setting number of eyeballs watching this game.
Absolutely, yeah. It's two teams. It's funny that the Chiefs originated in Dallas, Texas, as the Dallas Texans, and then moved to Kansas City. So, you talk about the popularity of the players really on both sides, and a long history with the way that Kansas City. It's so funny. The last time that the Chiefs and the Cowboys played in a Thanksgiving Day game, there was a Schottenheimer that was a coach. He just happened to be on the Kansas City side of the field. So amazing. 30 years since Kansas City and Dallas have met in a Thanksgiving Day game, and now we've come full circle with a Schottenheimer on the Kansas City side at one time, and then now one on the Dallas Cowboys side.
And what a difference a year makes. This time last year, we're talking about Cooper Rush versus Drew Lock, the lowly Giants versus the broken Cowboys, and now we're talking about a monster matchup with Dak Prescott versus Pat Mahomes. Two guys playing fantastic football. Dak having one of the best seasons of his career, and we know what Mahomes is. And these are two desperate teams. This sort of has that playoff type feel, because both these teams are desperate for victories right now.
Yeah, it is. And we like to always talk about in our various platforms the desperate team theory. And I feel like that both Kansas City and Dallas are in that mode right now. It is clearly a fight for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you lose this game, your odds go, say, down all the way to 6% of getting into the playoffs. You win, you're into the 20s, and then you get to have another game in a week from today against Detroit for an opportunity to keep going. When we did the season, when we broke down the games, the old win and loss game you play, we kind of felt like that Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit was going to be the gauntlet that Dallas might not be able to run. Well, a lot has changed since November 2nd when they made that trade, when they've got some players back in the secondary that have helped. So, this is a different football team. This is a team that, like I say, pre-November 2nd, probably couldn't beat many teams in the National Football League. Post-November 2nd, here we are, matchup with the Chiefs, with a chance to kind of really keep the playoff dreams alive.
Yeah, the excitement level for this game has really cranked up over the course of the last couple of weeks. Cowboys sitting at 5-1 on the season. Winners of their last two, including an all-time comeback versus Filthy right here at AT&T Stadium just last week, or just a few days ago. And then Chiefs come in 6-5 on the season. They had the big OT victory over the Colts on Sunday. And the Cowboys are 3-1-1 at home this season. You mentioned the Chiefs struggling on the road, 1-4 on the road this season. So Cowboys 3-point dogs today. And what do you think about the game mantra? Do you like the Old Testament game?
I think the Old Testament game is very fitting. We might need some prayers today for if the way that Pat Mahomes plays. And as I mentioned in Crosstalk, when you're dealing with Kansas City, you're dealing with a Hall of Fame coach. You're dealing with one of the better defensive coordinators in the league with Steve Spagnuolo and what he's been able to do. You're dealing with a team that's very, very talented, and like I say, you're dealing with a Hall of Fame quarterback who plays at a level that is unique, and it's not conventional, and that on a short week, both teams are having to deal with issues. Neither team probably really got to practice. It was like hard-fought victories the week before, try and get the bodies right, probably walking around on the field, doing a lot of things. You're going to have to kind of go back in your notes and say, okay, this is what we have to do. Maybe you're going to see a little bit more basics today, trying to play some basic football. A lot of times when you have a week to 8 days to prepare for a team, you can put in a couple of different wrinkles. What's really different is these teams don't see each other that often.
Right.
The league tries to set it up where the early game today is going to be Green Bay and Detroit playing. Two teams that are very, very familiar. So on a short week, it works for those teams. Dallas and Kansas City don't have that luxury today.
No, very uncommon opponent here, but it's exciting because oftentimes you get a Cowboys-Giants situation or Cowboys-Commanders or something like that. But this has the feel of two of the premier franchises in all of the NFL colliding now, and they're both in playoff desperation mode.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be absolutely fantastic. 877-881-1053. We're loaded here on your pregame show today. We will get you Osa Odighizuwa, who's playing some dang good football over the last couple of weeks with the addition of Quinnen Williams inside, and we know that's going to be a huge factor in today's game. We'll hear from him in just a few minutes. Cowboys insider Bobby Belt as well, behind enemy lines with Josh Klingler, sidelines for Kansas City, and a tradition unlike any other. CBS Sports sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson hopping on with us as well. So we're rocking and rolling here, and let's go ahead and just dive into it a little bit, Broadus.
Yeah.
What side of the ball is most fascinating for you today?
Well, I think to me, Dallas is going to have to find a way defensively. And I mentioned the short week, the adjustments. You know, Kansas City's in a situation right now where they're likely not going to have Trey Smith playing at right guard for them, the all-pro guard. And so this is where now Mike Caliendo steps in and has to play. And this is also where Dallas, the last couple of weeks, have feasted on poor guard play.
Yeah.
And Caliendo it's a big drop-off between him and Smith there. And so, you know, the thing that has affected when you watch Pat Mahomes play, inside pressure has been a problem for him. He's about a 38% completion percentage when dealing with that inside pressure. Can Dallas affect the middle of the pocket in a way that makes Mahomes uncomfortable? So anything, he's a much better when he doesn't face that pressure. He's like a 72% passer with no pressure. With pressure, middle pressure, he's roughly about 38%. So that's a big, big drop-off. Can Dallas, Creed Humphrey at center's outstanding. Kingsley Sumatia at the guard. He's a tackle. They've moved inside. He's a big body guy. Could be a little slow-footed at times. So Dallas is going to have to take advantage. Can they create middle pressure in order to affect Mahomes in this game?
Man, that's a heck of a stat. I don't want to gloss over it. Pat Mahomes, with interior pressure, is completing 38% of his passes this year.
Yeah.
And that is now the strength of this Cowboys defense without question.
Yeah.
And you have maybe their best offensive lineman. Maybe it's Creed Humphreys, but maybe it's Trey Smith.
Yeah.
Either way, Trey Smith, one of the best guards in football, him being out here, that's a giant factor in this game, especially when you consider Quinnen Williams and Osa. They lead the league in quick pressures over the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, what a godsend Quinnen Williams has been for this defense, not to mention all the other reinforcements that you've gotten with guys like Overshone and Hooker, Logan Wilson, things like that coming back from injury as well. So, yeah, I think that is the Cowboys have to own that. The Cowboys have to dominate that. I think that's really your best chance, because I'm fascinated to see how Eberflus tries to play this in the back end.
Yeah.
Because Mahomes versus man coverage has not been the same this year,
right,
as he has
with the
versus zone coverage.
Right.
Zone coverage, he's picking it apart at a high level. And we know how the Cowboys and Eberflus have fallen in love with playing a soft zone. I do not think you can do that today unless you are just totally banking on Quinnen Williams, Osa Odighizuwa, Kenny Clark, just wreaking havoc on the interior of the pocket.
Yeah, I think you'll know very, very early in this game where Eberflus is going to fall when it comes to how playing this coverage, though. But I've said this a couple times already. This quarterback is so unique with his ability to run and to scramble.
I mean, he's 30 yards a game this year, and they're all for first down. They're all big.
It's crazy. You break down Kansas City's 10-plus runs, and you've got some Pacheco runs. Yeah, you've got some Hunt runs. But there might be 20 of them where Pat Mahomes is doing that, And so, and you especially have to be alert down in the red zone with his ability to, he'll drop back, and then next thing you know, he's breaking the outside, and he's heading for the pylon. There's been a couple of times where he's been able to win 18, 20 yards away from the goal line by just running the football.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge factor here, and those are the backbreakers.
Yeah,
backbreakers, especially you get to the fourth quarter, and he channels this sort of superhuman mode where he understands now, okay, we have X amount of time here, and I got to go ahead and put the team on my back if I have to. But what do you think about the way Travis Kelce's playing right now? Rashee Rice, how do you approach the weapons for Kansas City today?
Yeah, I think to me now you need to think about, okay, with Simone Ravel, you got to think about his situation and where he maybe fits in today's action. Will he be a guy that all of a sudden, do you find a way, do you say, okay, we'll match up with Bland and others elsewhere, and then maybe try and take Kelce out of this game on some third down situations with Ravel? I kind of feel like he's a hybrid tight end killer. When you look at, the Raider game kind of gave me a little bit of a little bit of an insight of how he would match up, against bigger tight ends that can play down the field. Kelce doesn't have the quickness that he once had, but he's got the savvy, he's got the smarts, he's got the ability to catch in space and transition that way.
I think he's been better this year than people are giving him credit for.
I think that, there's been some slippage with him in the past, and I don't think that's the case now. I think he's back to the level of once where he was. Maybe not to the level of 3-4 years ago.
Right.
But you look at right now the way he's playing. He is going to command your attention in this football game.
All right, we are just under 3 hours to kick off here at AT&T Stadium, getting you set for a Cowboys Thanksgiving football Thursday, and we're rocking and rolling behind enemy lines with Josh Klingler of Kansas City coming up here in the next 30 minutes or so. But let's get you the player profile, Osa Odighizuwa, and we go inside the star with our Cowboys insider Bobby Belt, live from AT&T Stadium next right here on The Fan.
Veritiv Pollock is more than just a supplier. We're your strategic ally in facility, packaging, and retail solutions.
rest of the game to happen and you guys get the winning field goal?
Just knowing, knowing they're passing the ball, third down, and I honestly had to adjust kind of like mid-flight because I thought I was getting a different block than I was. So then when I saw that I wasn't having to get back outside and just rush and keep going. But that's why I work as hard as I do in the off season and throughout the season to be able to make plays like that late in the game. When you're tired, you gotta be able to clutch up.
Let's talk about how you guys have played so well since the bye, but more importantly, Quinnen. Everybody, it seems like that helps set the table. Everybody knows he's great, but it also allows you guys to be great as well. You got some off the chart numbers as well.
Definitely helps to have a guy like that on the other side of the other side. You know what I mean? Dude, a lot of times unblockable. So having someone like that wrecking the game as well allows me to be able to do my thing too. So and elevate my play.
Yeah, Kenny Clark too.
Kenny too. So I knew when we got him, I'm like, damn, that's a baller for sure. I'm definitely have to be on top of my game. You know what I mean? Because I know the type of player that he is, and I'm like having confidence that I am that too, and just matching that level of play when he comes in and just being able to help the defense in a bigger way. I knew he was going to come in and make a difference right away. So
Kenny Clark told me he's not only talented, Quinnen helps you guys with offensive lineman's tendencies. He knows that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he knows ball for sure. And that was something that I would say with KC too, being able to talk with some guys that's been doing it for a while, guys that really know ball, and being able to bounce ideas off each other, picking his brain as far as the attack front. He's been in it for a while, have more experience with it than me, so asking him about what are you thinking here, how do you look at this block, how do you play this block, stuff like that, picking his brain in that way. So being able to talk ball with them too has been awesome, especially just in our meetings when we're doing breakfast club before we get going for the day. We can kind of talk about what we're each seeing on tape and how we're planning to attack the O-line.
One more ball question. You got the Chiefs this afternoon, talk about their O-line, but more importantly, you got a very dangerous quarterback, arguably the greatest quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes. What's going to be the factor for y'all getting past that O-line?
Definitely rushing, getting off the ball is always going to be the most important thing. Making each other right, rushing as one, because, he likes to scramble, and then just training, because it's obviously he's going to get some scramble, he's going to spit out a couple of times, but at that point we just got to be able to run.
Let's talk about Thanksgiving. You've done this a couple of years in a row now, playing on Thanksgiving. Well, yeah, exactly. So I'm talking 5 times now. What's it like on Thanksgiving? I know a lot of people watch it on TV. It's like one of the big games of the whole year. You got family in town, the whole 9 yards. What's that day like for you personally?
It's a good day, I try and get my family down on the field so I can see them and just feel that energy and that love before the game. Gives me a little bit of confidence, a little bit of motivation, knowing that I got my loved ones up there watching, and then we just go enjoy the time afterwards and enjoy the holiday.
All right, good luck this afternoon, Osa.
Appreciate you.
All right, there he is, Osa Odighizuwa for today's player profile, and your pregame show brought to you by Buffalo. The creators of Buffalo bring you NFL casino games. Kick off with America's team on and off the reels with Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Do you have a gambling problem? Please contact 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over. Let's go ahead and go inside the Star with our Cowboys insider, Bobby Belt, live here on the Miller Lite West Plaza of AT&T Stadium. Happy Thanksgiving. Broadus has the pointed finger up.
Robert, which team's showing up today for the Cowboys?
The one you've seen the last 2 weeks. The one I think that is a completely different football team than the one that went into the bye week. And I mean, not just in theory, they're executing better. It's legitimately a completely different football team. I mean, when you consider the level of play you're getting out of Kenny Clark and Osa Odighizuwa is different than what you got in the first half. And then you've got Quinnen Williams, who's here, Logan Wilson and DeMarvion Overshone, and then you got your safeties back who hadn't been around for the last several weeks. You're talking about Dallas completely changed out their defense at all 3 levels in the middle of the field, which is a massive boost for them. And we talked about that with Schotty a little bit last week, the idea of just, hey, with all these different changes, is there a benefit to teams really haven't seen this defense that you have. They haven't seen it on tape this year. They haven't seen how you use these, this personnel.
Yeah, just
pretty much across the board. Yeah, there was the game against the Raiders. They had I can't remember. I don't think that's what Tom Brady called it. But if there was if you look at across the board against the Raiders, I think out of their top 10 leaders in snaps on defense, 6 of the 10 didn't play in the game previously.
Sure.
And so, it's just a completely different makeup. And, yeah, as long as the offense is clicking, as long as George Pickens is playing at the level that he is, if you get CD to click a little bit, the offensive line has been playing better recently. Dak's in a rhythm. I think that, we're going to get that version of the team. Now, the question is it enough to beat the Chiefs today? We'll see. But, I think that is the team you're getting today.
Jump inside the head of CD Lamb. What's he thinking coming into this one today?
I need to show up, I think is what he's thinking. Look, you've got he performed solid against the Raiders. Sure. But obviously there was a lot of discussion about him.
He had a couple good blocks last week, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It's just he wasn't able to finish catches.
Yeah.
And that's been a problem for him against the Eagles this year. So I think that just the biggest thing I need to see is not necessarily like, hey, prove you're not that guy. It's, to me, don't let it snowball into this week, because if he goes out there and drops the first pass today, it's going to be really easy to start letting things snowball.
He's going to fight it then, huh?
Yeah, and so I think that he's going to come out here. And look, he has been really good at responding. Whenever things have gotten hard, he has been really good at responding typically in the past. Coming out of the 49ers game a couple years ago when people were critical of his body language, you had after week 1 this year against the Eagles, he came back the next week, performed in a really big way. I remember when there were a lot of questions right after they traded Amari Cooper about, well, can CD be a number 1 yet? And he went out there. It was the first game, I think, without Dak. They were playing the Giants. And he had a really rough first half. And people were chattering out there on social media and things like that. And he came out and played one of the best games I've ever seen in the second half against the Giants. And so I think when you look at how he's typically responded to adversity, I would anticipate he's going to respond the right way today. But you definitely don't want to get off to the wrong start.
You could tackle well today, or you could play really great discipline on defense. Which one do you take?
Ooh, man, I think if you want to talk about, they both are so integral to what Eberflus wants to do. Antoine Woods, we had him on Cowboys Crosstalk last night, and he was talking about, Eberflus comes from the Marinelli scheme, and the Marinelli scheme says big guys need to play their asses off up front, and the guys in the secondary need to tackle.
Right.
And you've been getting that up front with your defense. So, thinking about that bend but don't break type of way of keep things in front of you, make the play, do things like that, then I think tackling is probably going to be more critical to them executing what they want to do.
Yeah, I say that because ball short, let them run Kansas City Chief offense right now.
Oh, yeah. You remember, I think the last time they were in this stadium, right before half, the screen pass to Tyreek Hill at the end of the half that they were just blocked up and he ran for 50 yards for a touch. Yeah. It's one of the worst examples of fundamental tackling that you'll see in pursuit angles. Let's not have a repeat of that today. Luckily, Tyreek Hill isn't on that sideline, though.
Yes, thank God for that. Inside the Star with our Cowboys insider Bobby Belt live here at AT&T Stadium. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification right here on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Tolo, baby.
KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas-Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
Okay, Bob, do you think Eberflus will pivot off the zone coverage, soft zone that Mahomes has been picking apart this season, or is he just going to keep riding with it?
I think Eberflus generally is a man of conviction.
I do what I do.
I don't totally see that changing. In fact, coming out of the bye week, there was a lot of discussion. People were like, we might see some more man coverage. And then they came out against the Raiders, and I think they played like 8% man coverage.
It was 92% zone.
It was a lot of zone. And so, I think that Eberflus is a guy who, look, you want somebody who is convicted in their beliefs. You don't want somebody who's wishy-washy. But you also want some flexibility. And there's been some flexibility there at times this year from him. But I think the core beliefs he's going to ride with. And he's going to believe in those things regardless of who's the opponent across from me. They're going to have that. And look, to be fair, a lot of what he wants to execute is based on guys winning up front. And those front four, wreaking havoc. And that's something that they've done the last couple weeks. So if they can get a little bit of that, it may be a more effective tool.
What does Steve Spagnuolo do that worries you the most?
I mean, just if you want to talk about overall in general, the thing that he does is the way that he just has frazzled Dak Prescott throughout his career. Dak Prescott, if you look at the number of guys that Dak has played multiple games against, defensive coordinators, defensive philosophies, number one, by far, not even close, the scheme that he struggled the most with is Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
But if you want some positives on that, the second one that he struggled the most with throughout his career has been Vic Fangio. And 2 games this year, he's played pretty solid. And so, I think that the way that Spagnuolo can disguise things, the way that Spagnuolo throughout his career has been able to generate pressure with just 4 rushers and really disrupt things. I mean, he won 2 Super Bowls on my trench game is going to beat yours.
Yeah.
And that's how they really disrupted Tom Brady. So I think he's one of the most well-prepared when we talk about having flexibility and game planning to do different things. I think he's one of the most flexible defensive coordinators at just saying, I'm going to attack you this way. Every game plan, I feel like, is unique with Steve Spagnuolo. There are core beliefs that he has, but I feel like he is really, really sharp when it comes to finding a quarterback's weakness and attacking it.
Do you feel like Dallas catches a break with him on a short week? Or is it he's got something that you haven't seen that he's going to throw at you?
Yeah, I mean, in general, I always feel like the game here, especially if you're coming off of a home game like Dallas is, I always feel like Thanksgiving's an advantage for you.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to travel, you don't have to do other things. I feel like you've got an advantage over them in so many different ways. But yeah, I mean, I also think that he's probably got some things up his sleeves, some old things.
He always carries something into the fourth quarter if it's close.
Yeah.
And he'll call it, and you haven't seen it all day.
Yeah, like you haven't seen, it could be something as basic as I haven't seen a cover 0 blitz all day. Oh, here it is all of a sudden.
Yeah, there you go.
And so, yeah, he very much likes to, change things up. It's not easy to just follow trends with him and say, I reliably know everything that Spagnuolo's going to do. And keeping teams off balance, that's a big part of what Steve Spagnuolo does so well.
Bobby Belt with us here on The Fan. What do you think in terms of just game flow? Is this going to be more of a shootout? How many points do you have the Cowboys scoring?
So I did have the Cowboys putting up 31 in this game. I had it being my pick for this game was 31-21 Dallas.
Oh.
I do think that Dallas is playing. Dallas, realistically, the only game that I look at the rest of the schedule and I go, they have. To me, it feels like no shot right now, and I don't know. We'll watch how this Packers game plays out. Is the Lions?
Okay.
The Lions game is the Chargers. That's the one team they can beat the last few years, no matter what's going on. They can be a mess, or they can, have to start somebody out at right tackle that they're not supposed to. And in the past few years, they've managed to win those games. But no, I think that this is a game that sets up really well for Dallas. Now, obviously, I do think it's not like the Raiders a couple weeks ago where I was saying If I had a home, I would bet it that they're going to beat the Raiders because the Raiders are that bad. Instead, it's just more I absolutely could see Kansas City winning this game. I just think it sets up really well for Dallas, better than it has if it would have set up in years past. If they would have caught him any of the last 5 years, I don't think it sets up as well as it does right now for them.
You going to be fanboying at halftime for Posty?
I love Posty. I know Alec Medford back at our station. That's like his hero, his god. So I'm probably going to be taking a lot of action shots just to send them to him and rub them in his face, and just praying that we don't get the surprise Taylor Swift performance. Although Fortnite's a great song.
I think I worked with his dad. I think his dad was working for the Cowboys when I was working.
Rich Post. He was in charge of the beverages and the concessions and everything. He oversaw all of it.
Yeah. Good for him.
Well, Bobby, happy Thanksgiving, man. We love you, and we love your prediction. Cowboys by 10.
Cowboys by 10. Yep.
All right, there he goes. Cowboys insider Bobby Belt right here on 105.3 The Fan, live at AT&T Stadium. Shout out to all the Tolos texting in right now. 903, our buddy Tim in Carthage. Happy Thanksgiving. Cowboys win 34-30. I like that energy right now here in the Miller Lite West Plaza of AT&T Stadium. 2 hours, 33 minutes to kick off. Let's go behind enemy lines with the sideline reporter for the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Klingler joins us next right here on The Fan.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just wear your Cowboys gear and save 25% on your oil change. No huddle, no overtime. Just drive in, stay in your car, and roll out. You'll be tailgate ready in 10 minutes flat. Keeping up with your car shouldn't be a tough call. Take 5 makes it as easy as calling the coin toss. Take 5 is the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit take5.com to find a location near you. Offer valid through December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Valid only at participating locations.
How about them Cowboys?
choice. And how about those Hillshire Farm Little Smokies cocktail links to help fuel up for the big game? Hillshire Farm brand is calling you to enjoy our savory, delicious Little Smokies cocktail links for any of your game day occasions. Whether it's a spontaneous snack or a game day gathering, Little Smokies cocktail links are the perfect way to celebrate. Get yours today at your local grocery store. Hillshire Farm is proud to be the official protein of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hillshire Farm is calling.
Whether you're buying a home, looking for a partner to take care of your HR and payroll needs, or giving your employees the benefits they deserve, SWBC is here to help. From personalized home loans to a team of experts to help grow your business, SWBC is your partner. For your family, for your business, for your wins. Forward together. Visit SWBC.com to learn more.
SWBC Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 9741, an equal housing lender.
Window Nation, the star of window replacement and proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, can help you fill your house this season with savings. Right now, get 50% off all styles of windows and make no payments with no interest for 24 months. Fill your home with energy-efficient windows for a customized, authentic Dallas Cowboys jersey, and you could even help fill the Cowboys house and win tickets to a game. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com/Cowboys now for details. Window Nation, proud partner of your Dallas Cowboys.
Ho, ho, ho. Straight from the North Pole, Santa is once again at the Star in Frisco. Santa Claus will be meeting fans and spreading holiday cheer. Capture the magic with frame-worthy holiday photos at Santa at the Star. Presented by Monument Realty. And share your Christmas gift requests with Santa himself. All the way through Christmas Eve. Don't miss your chance to make unforgettable holiday memories that last a lifetime. Book your visit now at thestardistrict.com/Santa.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here, the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys. This holiday season, I've got Yeti's new insulated bowls and food storage working overtime. The insulated bowls are amazing. It'll keep queso warm or guacamole fresh. And the food storage containers protect my ingredients and help me stay organized. They also make great gifts for the host, making Yeti bowls and food storage MVPs for the holidays. Get yours at Yeti.com or a Yeti store near you.
When it comes to protecting your home or business, you want a team you can count on. That's why the Dallas Cowboys trust K-Post Roofing, the official roofer of the Cowboys. From minor repairs to full roof replacements, K-Post delivers championship quality service and craftsmanship every time. Don't wait until the next big storm. Put a winning roof over your head with K-Post. K-Post Roofing, protecting what matters most, on and off the field. K-Post Roofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboys fans, it's time to get ready for tailgate season with an official Dallas Cowboys license plate from myplates.com. Join the many thousands of fans already driving around with Cowboys pride on their ride. It's a must-have for any die-hard Cowboys fan. My Plates is also the one-stop shop for all specialty plates in Texas, with over 500 designs to choose from. With Cowboys plates starting from only $50, what are you waiting for? Visit myplates.com today. That's myplates.com.
Football is a team sport. Every inch of gridiron gain, from the line of scrimmage to the painted end zone, relies on
ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Cowboys.
All right, we're under 2.5 hours to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Thanksgiving football, that's what we do. here in Texas. Cowboys and Chiefs. We go behind enemy lines with Chiefs sideline reporter Josh Klingler here in just a few minutes, and Tracy Wolfson of CBS Sports. She'll be on the sidelines for the telecast today. Jim Nance and Tony Romo alongside her. She joins us here in just a few minutes as well. But Broadus, we do have the Meat Church Menu of the Day champion to deal out.
All right.
877-881-1053. Go ahead and text in your Thanksgiving spread if it's something to be proud of. Whether you're a backyard griller, Cowboys tailgater, or Pitmaster Pro, Meat Church has everything you need. Visit meatchurch.com, your ultimate destination for the finest rubs, seasonings, and barbecue supplies. Matt Pittman and Meat Church, the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys. What'd you think there, man? Bobby's going 31 points, winning by 10.
I like what Bobby's doing. Bobby's generally pretty right about these games. I kind of fluctuate where I believe things are going to happen, but I just kind of look at Kansas City where they're at. Still a quality football team, but not playing very well on the road. That's something that I think they have to that we have to be mindful of.
No question about it. All right, let's go behind enemy lines with the sideline reporter for the Kansas City Chiefs, Josh Klingler, with us now on The Fan. Happy Thanksgiving, Josh. How you doing?
To you as well. I have not walked into too many visiting stadiums where everybody's been so nice and saying Happy Thanksgiving and providing plates of food. And I mean, I think I'm kind of on kilter a little bit, kind of looking around and seeing where that other shoe's going to drop. But no, well, everybody's been awesome. I know you guys are used to hosting the Thanksgiving event, and so I think you probably make it an event for everybody else that's coming in here. So it's pretty cool.
Well, Josh, I would swear sitting out here in the plaza, I would swear it's a Chiefs home game right now, to be honest with you.
A lot of red.
A lot of red. Is that something, though, we don't get to see you guys that often, even though we are connected to you from the Dallas Texans days. But is this a crew that does travel well with their team?
Well, certainly they've become a little more national, right? It's been the hot team to jump on board, so not just Kansas City, but fan bases now outside of Kansas City. So yeah, most of the stadiums that don't completely close the doors to the visitors, right? The Red have found their way in quite a bit on the road. Certainly in the AFC West, when you go to Vegas and you go to LA, and those have become kind of sadly more destination cities. I think for the home teams, we've taken over from a fan base going to those places. Denver's probably the only one in the AFC West that kind of holds the fort, and then pretty much everywhere else on the road, if there's a fun destination, you're going to see a lot of Chiefs fans making the trip. So yeah, I suppose this one probably makes a little bit of sense, right? I don't know. Is there Thanksgiving fatigue when you do it all the time that you could go, hey, I could sell my tickets to a Chiefs fan and maybe make a few bucks? I guess I could understand if that were the case too.
Hey, Josh, can I ask you something on a personal question here? Andy Reid and I are really good friends. Andy and I were together in Green Bay way back when he started together in '92. We were actually neighbors. How has he been to work with? I absolutely loved working with Andy Reid. He's one of my favorite human beings. How has he been with your experience with him?
Well, it's just his calm demeanor, which I think carries over to everybody else. Like, there's never let him see his sweat. It is literally day to day, game to game. I mean, I'm programmed. I don't know what the next game is. I honestly don't. I think it's at home. Yeah. I'm looking at the schedule right now to see it. Like, it's be in the moment. Take care of what you need to take care of. He puts a lot of faith in his players as well to be grown-ups and take responsibility. But he demands a lot, and I think he's really kind of become that guy. I could call it like your dad, right? You don't want to disappoint your dad. Sure. And I think that the players kind of have that feel with him too. He's very tough. He's very consistent. Keeps them level-headed, and I think knows when to push the buttons. And I think that's proof's in the pudding as to why he's been so successful all of these years. I think the formula that he sets up probably on a week-in, week-out basis should be copied by others. If it isn't, if you're a young coach, I would probably try to go get a visit with Andy Reid and say, how do you put together your off-season program, or how do you put together your bye-week program? He's just very organized, loves to coach, obviously, and that's why I think he gets the question every year: Is this going to be it? Is this going to be it? And I mean, if you're around him enough, you're like, he just loves this. Like, this is what he loves to do, and so he's made a fantastic career of it.
Yeah, I think you nailed him perfect. I really do. Well said.
Behind Enemy Lines with Josh Klingler, Chief Sideline reporter here on The Fan. So as we dive into this matchup today, Josh, and the injury to right guard Trey Smith, how much of an effect will that have on the Chiefs' offense today?
Well, he's really good, and certainly the backup Mike Caliendo, I call him Be Ready Mike Caliendo, because he kind of pops in and out and takes the place of whoever. He's the next man up at basically every position along that offensive line, so he gets plenty of playing time, so that's the good thing, and guard's probably his more natural position. So, but it is a difference when you're talking about an all-pro type in Trey Smith being out of the mix. I would maybe be keeping an eye more so on the wide receiver core, because Xavier Worthy's been battling an ankle injury. Rashee Rice came up a little gimpy with a hamstring the other day, and then the running back Kareem Hunt, who had a career high in carries last week, expended about as much energy as you can expend in getting that done a week ago, and so they put a lot into getting that Colts victory, guys, which was a very important one for this Chiefs team. Kind of backs against the wall. They've been the favorites. They've been kind of front runners for the last several years. Now have to dig themselves out of a self-inflicted kind of mess just to get themselves to the postseason. So they put in a lot of energy to get that one done last week. So I'm interested to see how the bounce back is today with travel and a short week.
Josh, if you're Steve Spagnuolo, I'm going to put you into in that spot. If you're Steve, who do you worry about on Cowboys offensively of the skill guys there? Where do you think that your attention needs to be on a short week?
Well, I won't speak for Steve Spagnuolo because he's brilliant. But if it's me and I'm looking and I'm scouting the Chiefs defense, if there's something that's been a little bit of an Achilles heel, it is defending across the field. And I think what scares me about the Cowboys offense is their ability to get Lamb and Pickens on long routes across the field. Anything that's a crossing route that requires a lot of coverage, I think the Chiefs have been a little bit susceptible in the middle of the field to tight ends as well. Their linebackers are real good, kind of downhill guys, not the greatest in coverage. And so if you're able to exploit the middle of the field and get people running around and protect your quarterback with enough time, obviously, to be able to find those guys running the longer routes, I think that's what concerns me, the ability for the wideouts of the Cowboys to run and find space.
What's been going on with the Chiefs in the red zone this year offensively, Josh? It seems like they haven't been able to be the top-tier versions of themselves that we've been accustomed.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit predictable at times, and I know that our crew has kind of pointed that out. Our color analyst is a former Chiefs wide receiver, Dana Hughes, and he's talked about this offense at times maybe being a little bit too predictable, and maybe when you get down to the red zone being the case as well. And, defenses kind of pinch in a little bit and try to take some things away from you, and they have not been as sharp, certainly in the red zone. And I think at times if there's, and it's not a negative, you mentioned you worked with Andy Reid for a long, long time. He's got the biggest playbook probably you've ever seen, right? And he keeps his guys engaged a lot by giving them a lot of things. And we've heard over the years as well, players kind of helping out, kind of devising plays. And I honestly think sometimes it needs to get less in the red zone. Like at times they get down there and you'll see some formation they pulled out of a wing tee or something, or they got Kelsey as the direct snap, and sometimes you're like, okay, you should probably just line up and go. And so I think sometimes they can't help it. I mean, they have a little flair for the dramatic, and I think that they get caught in those every once in a while. It's fun when it works, but when it doesn't work, you're like, could you just line up under center and hand off and try to get 5 yards and let's see how this goes. So I think that the combination of that, maybe just not kind of finding the exact plays they want to be running in the red zone, has been kind of an issue. They can't do that today. They did that last week, and they had kind of field goals versus touchdowns. I think in this game today, they're going to have to score touchdowns. I don't think they can settle for too many threes.
Chief Sideline reporter Josh Klingler with us here on The Fan. Josh, do you kind of get the sense that they've flipped the switch a little bit and they're in that sort of playoff desperation mode where you see Mahomes and Spags and Chris Jones we've seen them just rise to the occasion in big moments, and it feels like now they got to be kind of in playoff mode.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, they have to play one game weeks every week. Let's be honest, 7 losses might get you in. You're sick. They're sitting at 5, right? You can't. There's not many left. You can't take anything for granted. So you're kind of playing 1-game seasons, which could take its toll at some point. Again, I wish this game was Sunday from a Chiefs perspective, because I do think that they expended a ton to just get that one done some way, somehow against the Colts in overtime on Sunday. So, but they're definitely in that playoff mode that last week was big. I was trying to not make it too big, but asking guys in the locker room after the game, I know it was 1 game, but how big was this one? And they're kind of like, oh yeah, it was big. We got to get to a point where we're in position to try to make a run. And so they need to keep it going today, but easier said than done, certainly. But I think from here on out, and it's been a different kind of position that Chiefs been in. Sure. Usually we've been talking about, how can they play themselves maybe into the number 1 seed, blah, blah, blah. This year it's totally different. It's like you got to play yourself in the playoffs. So it's a little different pressure that they're under than they have been in the last several years. So one game at a time, but every game's pretty big.
Josh, the sack numbers say they're down for a Chiefs team. Where's the pressure come that way? I love George Karlaftis when he came out of Purdue, but where have the sack numbers gone for this team?
Well, they're a pretty good pressure team, and I know that's maybe the newfangled stat, right?
Sure.
Be good at pressures, but not being able to close. But they did talk about that before the season. They wanted to be a better kind of sack team. Last year they were probably a little bit better in that sack category. It's a lot predicated on Chris Jones. You're going to give him double team attention. Someone else has got to get to the quarterback. Jones can be a game wrecker one-on-one, and then occupies a bunch of. He had 1 tackle last week and was maybe the most impactful defensive lineman on the field last week. So he doesn't always generate a ton of stats, but he does those things to free up others, and then at times also can push the pocket. They haven't done as great a job of getting the quarterback down, that's for sure. They haven't been a great turnover team defensively either, but they have been a pretty good team in limiting what you do. So they've been pretty good as the game has gone on. It's kind of a Steve Spagnuolo kind of signature. Like, you might get a couple of drives early in the game, and then he kind of tightens the screws a little bit, and then they try to slam the door after that particular point in time. Kind of did that last week as well. So, but there's some things they could do better. Like I mentioned, kind of cross field routes, turning people over, and the sack category. They haven't been all that fantastic in. So those are some areas the Cowboys can probably exploit today. They're not a turnover team, so don't get yourselves in a position to be turning the football over back to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, Josh, this has been a real treat, man. Thank you so much for the time. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and enjoy the game today.
Again, thanks for everybody for hosting. If we got to work today, we might as well have some fun, right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Josh.
You bet.
There he goes, sideline reporter for the Chiefs, Josh Klingler, with us here on The Fan. We are now 2 hours and 15 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Let's welcome in CBS Sports sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson next right here on The Fan.
Bell Nunley has been committed to serving their clients for over 4 decades. This Dallas-based full-service law firm offers an extensive array of legal services, including championship-level commercial litigation, mergers and acquisitions, real estate, intellectual property, and labor and employment practices. Whether it's the clients they serve, the cases they win, the people they hire, or the community they build, Bell Nunley is behind every great company. Go to bellnunley.com to learn more.
Are you ready to elevate your barbecue game? Matt Pittman of Meat Church here, the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're a backyard griller, Cowboys tailgater, or a professional pitmaster, Meat Church has everything you need to make every meal a mouth-watering masterpiece. From our legendary seasonings, our fan-favorite recipes, tutorials and tips from barbecue experts, you'll be grilling and smoking like a champ in no time. Visit meatchurch.com, your ultimate destination for the freshest rubs and seasonings and barbecue supplies.
Nunnally, behind every great company. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Volleman's Dairy, the official milk of the Dallas Cowboys. Tyson Foods. Get your Tyson Cowboys Star Nuggets available now. And by DallasCowboys.com. Keep track of the boys with daily podcasts and up-to-the-minute blogging at DallasCowboys.com and on the official Dallas Cowboys app.
My name is Tracy Wolfson. I'm the lead sideline reporter for CBS Sports and a Michigan grad.
Maize or blue?
Maize.
Favorite place on campus?
Law Quad. It's one of the most peaceful and beautiful spots.
Walking through the diet, avoid the M or step on?
Definitely avoid the M. Do not step on the M. They say you're not going to graduate. You're going to fail your first Blue Book.
Favorite Michigan memory?
Walking on game day to the stadium, all dressed in my maize and blue with my friends and taking in a football game.
All right, we are 2 hours and 10 minutes to kick off, and the doors have opened here at AT&T Stadium as we welcome in our favorite Michigan Wolverine. Sorry, Derek Holland, we love you too. But CBS Sports sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson joining us as she does on this day just about every single year, and we love her for it. Tracy, happy Thanksgiving to you. How you doing?
Happy Thanksgiving. I love it. Go Blue. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's our Buckeye, Tim Collins, who had to suffer through creating that open for you. So we appreciate him for that, and we appreciate you, Tracy. This is definitely an exciting time. I mean, how does it feel? Cowboys, Chiefs, this is supposed to be like maybe the most watched game ever for a regular season in NFL history. That's got to feel pretty cool getting ready for this one.
It's crazy. It's massive. I know when the schedule came out, we were all like, oh my God, let's circle that one. This could be huge. But I think we really thought we'd have two teams that are fully in the playoff hunt playing really well. And certainly these two teams are playing well right now, coming off those comeback wins. But we didn't think that this would be a game in terms of, you know, whoever wins stays alive and whoever loses really, you know, could be on the outside and maybe even say their season, you know, the playoff hopes are over. So much at stake in this one, just not what we thought going into the season. But when you get two fan bases like this, when you get two quarterbacks like this, and certainly with Patrick Mahomes coming back to Texas, there's so many great storylines in this one.
Tracy, I was going to ask you that because you're usually this time of year, you and your crew are covering the best games. It's usually where the Chiefs were the ones that were on this great run and all that. How different, though, is it with their demeanor coming into this one? Usually, are you feeling like a little bit of a desperate team here coming into this game?
We've had the Chiefs the last 3. This will be our 4th game. With their 4th game, we've had 4 straight with them, 1 in between when they had a bye. But, we felt it, going back a few weeks, the sense of urgency, the desperation mode. They're honest and will tell you that. I think the Cowboys will say the same. And so, you see it. They know what's at stake, but they've been, in these type of games and these positions, and they know how to win, and they had that consistency, and so they know in the end where to go to find those victories. And look, they've been in every game. And up until last week, they haven't won the close ones. So the ball hasn't bounced their way. They made mistakes down the stretch. They couldn't pull it out like they did last year. But yes, there is certainly a sense of urgency with this Chiefs team.
CBS Sports sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson with us here on The Fan. How hard is it for you to prepare for a game like this, short week? Do you get as much time getting to chat with the quarterbacks and the coaches in preparation?
Yeah, we certainly do our homework. We do our research. Like I said, you don't have to do much research and work when it comes to the Chiefs because we've seen them so much. We are so familiar with them. We actually even gave Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid a week off and talked to them about Thanksgiving last week just because we understand what their week is like as well. And the Cowboys are always great making everyone available. We had a chance this week with Schotty and Eberflus and with Dak yesterday, and certainly gracious with their time. But we know these teams well, and also when you have a game like this of this magnitude, it's really about the game. Certainly there's some Thanksgiving stories you might throw in. There's of course the story of Patrick Mahomes coming back, and there's a few of those. But other than that, you expect this to be a really good, tight game down to the wire. So you let the game sell itself. And for me, certainly, I hope to get a lot of my stuff really from the field.
Yeah, and Tracy, I was going to ask you that. It's funny that the last time these two teams played in a Thanksgiving Day game, there was a Schottenheimer, but he was on the Kansas City sideline. When you got to visit with Bryan, did he give you any thoughts about his feelings for Kansas City as a team, the Hunt family, anything like that?
Yeah, he certainly talked about the ties and growing up in Kansas City and spending his high school years there and being on the sidelines and being at the facility. And certainly that Kansas City holds a special place in his heart. But you know what it is right now, he's leading the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's the history between the Preston Road Trophy, certainly the Hunt family. I just had a chance to speak with some of them. They're home for Thanksgiving. They're used to being on the road. So for them, this is nice to be able to be home for Thanksgiving here in Dallas. So there's that tie as well.
CBS Sports sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson with us here on The Fan. Tracy, how much are you buying into this revamped Cowboys defense?
I'm buying into it. I really am. Certainly I think like a lot of us, when Micah Parsons was trading it, I was like, I don't understand it. Why would you do that? But look, give Jerry Jones credit and what he's been able to do. Not only on the defensive side, certainly going out and getting George Pickens was an incredible addition to this team. And then you look on the defensive side and the addition of Quinnen Williams. I grew up a Jets fan, so it's painful right now and to see one of our guys, be traded like that. But what he's been able to do, Logan Wilson, certainly Kenny Clark in that trade earlier in the year with Micah, and then the return of Overshown. So I've been impressed the last 2 weeks. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. They're playing with a lot of physicality, and I think you're going to see that against this Chiefs team today.
Tracy, if you had to think of one thing that this game might come down to, do you have something in the back of your mind right now?
It's going to come down, we just talked about it, I think the line of scrimmage. Certainly these games usually do. I think we saw that last week with the Cowboys and the Eagles. We've seen that in the past with the Chiefs, and if their line can't protect, they will be without their right guard, Trey Smith. I don't know what their offensive line is going to look like, but protection for Patrick Mahomes, giving him time is going to be key. Being able to run the ball against this defensive front's going to be really important. They had balance last week, which Andy Reid, he loves to throw the ball. So for him to commit to the run is really impressive. He's in desperation mode when he's committing to the run, but they need to be able to do that. They'll get Isaiah Pacheco back. Kareem Hunt, 30 touches last week, so they're going to need some more guys to be able to tote the ball, and we're going to see what who at which line of scrimmage wins and which side of that ball, and I think that's what it comes down to.
Tracy, you've been around this Chiefs team so much this season. What do you think, why are they just sort of a note off compared to what they've been over the last, 6 or 7 years?
I can't really pinpoint it, because if you ask me each week, I'd say, they're going to be fine, and you just expect them to rebound, and we had a lot of those games that they lost. I mean, you expect them to be, I know they, had battles with the Bills in the regular season and haven't won those all the time, but still that game, and we were there at the Denver game, and they just haven't won those tight ones, and last year that's what they did, and you feel like they're just kind of a play away, and they feel that way too. Talking with them, they will say they feel they could beat any team right now. They're certainly better on the offensive side of the ball when you look at the weapons and the speed and having all of the wide receivers out there, and when they all got back, we saw what it looked like, but it hasn't been consistent that way. I think Patrick's rushing a few things. He'll tell us that as well. I think, having that offensive line maybe not fully intact. There was some changes throughout this season. But they have talent, as we know, on every position. And certainly the defense has maybe not played like we've seen them. I think over the last 2 weeks, they've really stepped it up. Chris Jones coming off his best game. He is certainly a threat when he's playing at that level. I think we're going to see that type of game from him today. Look, there's a lot on the line. It's Thanksgiving. They want those turkey legs. I think they were talking about it 2 weeks ago, and I said to them, you got to beat Indy first. Yeah. So, they want to experience a Thanksgiving win.
Well, Tracy, I know you're going to be in Ann Arbor this weekend for that game. So if there's nobody better to travel with when it comes to the conditions might be a little crazy there for the weather.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah, if you're going to go to an outdoor game late in the year, Tracy Wolfson, she's your gal to go with because she knows how to adapt for all that. Am I right about that?
I'm totally used to it. I don't fear the cold whatsoever. I had 3 games in a week. I might as well just add that 4th. Why not? You can't get enough football. Yeah. It'll actually be my first Michigan-Ohio State game, which is crazy to say. Yes, well, when I was there as a student, you went home for Thanksgiving, and it was difficult and financially difficult to just go back, and it was just hard. So I spent the time with my family, watched it on TV, and then, life got in the way. You had kids. I didn't have a child there. I worked every Thanksgiving and the weekend usually, so really didn't get that opportunity. And now with my son there as a sophomore, it's going to be his first Michigan-Ohio State game. We're bringing all of our boys, and I just felt I had to squeeze it in. As soon as that game ends, I'm headed in a car to Pittsburgh to get ready for Pittsburgh-Buffalo on Sunday. But it's going to be all worth it, cold or not.
But you know what? You'd have it no other way, in honesty, right?
Other way.
No other way.
Well, all we need is to come out with a 5th straight win.
There you go. There you go.
You guys are starting to play some good football right now. What's your confidence meter in this game?
Yeah, we are. I think we have a better team than we did last year, and we wound up pulling off the upset. We're at home. I think the weather could play a factor. We need to run the football like we do. That's what we do. We're going to get some guys back. It looks like Jordan Marshall will be back. I hope Bredesen can find a way to play. I really like what Bryce has done. He's a rookie. Look, we're the youngest team in the Big Ten. So, there's going to be a lot of wide eyes, a lot of, somewhat pressure to play in this big game. But I think the thing is the pressure is all on them. And so I think I feel confident, but, there's a bullseye on their back, and we're just going to go in there and do our thing.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, how locked in are you going to be on the Post Malone halftime show today, Tracy?
Oh, I'll be out here watching, no doubt. I'll do my interview with Andy Reid going in, do my interview with Schotty coming out, and in between, I'll take in a little Post Malone.
I love it. Well, we appreciate the time as always. It's great to catch up with you, and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the game today.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for having me.
There she goes, CBS Sports Sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson with us here on your Cowboys pregame show, brought to you by Reliant. Reliant is proud to power the home of the Dallas Cowboys and the homes of Cowboys fans across Texas. Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Always good to catch up with her, man. It's going to be freezing. It's going to be freezing in Ann Arbor going to that game, but that's pretty exciting. That's like a football bucket list extravaganza. You got
game.
Cowboys Chiefs Thanksgiving. You go hit the game, and then you come back for a Steelers game on Sunday. What a loaded schedule it is for her these days.
Yeah, but that's what she does. She loves being in the middle of the action. Good for her that her family gets to go to that Michigan-Ohio State game. That'll be a lot of fun for them.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. All right, we are still just getting started. Just under 2 hours to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Cowboys and Chiefs. Let's go into the booth with Babe Laughenberg next right here on The Fan.
Veritiv Pollock is more than just a supplier. We're your strategic ally in facility, packaging, and...
At your local grocery store, Hillshire Farm is proud to be the official protein of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hillshire Farm is calling.
Here we go, an hour and 50 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Great to have you in the official pregame show of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Eric Chiafalo alongside the Super Bowl champion Brian Broaddus. Let's go inside of AT&T Stadium and welcome in our buddy Babe Laughenberg. Talk a little Cowboys football. Babe, how you doing?
I am doing great. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Ready to rock and roll.
Heck yeah, happy Thanksgiving, man. This is always fun. Thanksgiving, it just means a little bit more, especially in a game like this. Two prominent franchises in the National Football League, and it feels like, Babe, both teams are in kind of playoff mode right now.
Yeah, no question. You know, it's really two 500 teams. The Cowboys are right at 500 at 5-5-1. Kansas City at 6-5, and I think both teams kind of just trying to find their way through this NFL season. And I don't think, you hear a lot of, okay, whoever loses, they're out. I don't see it that way, but I do think whoever wins is going to propel them on. And the Cowboys are a different team right now, as we know, defensively. It's just a defensive team, different defensive team with Quinnen Williams and DeMario Overshown and getting both safeties back. So most teams, as you lose a guy, you lose them for the year, and you're just not going to be as good. They're getting people back. Now they just got to keep building on what they've done the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, Babe, how do you imagine these Chiefs are feeling right now on a short week, having to travel? They go to overtime on Sunday versus the Colts, and, I mean, their offense played like 91 snaps in that game. Like, I can't imagine how, like, a Travis Kelce at this age is sort of limping into this game.
Oh. Well, on the positive side, their defense only had to play 51 snaps. So their defense should be fresh. But, 91 plays, that is, I know it went to overtime, but even at that is a lot of football to play, and then turn around and do it again 4 days later. But I was tickled. I can't remember what show it was. I had the TV on at the gym, and they, up on the graphic it said, "Are the Chiefs in panic mode?" And I'm thinking, there may be a lot of things, but with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, I don't think panic is one of the words that I would use to describe that football team.
Babe, when you're in a situation, and the way I would break this game down, I hate playing an unconventional quarterback. And I think this is one of the best unconventional quarterbacks that I've ever seen when it comes to the way he's able to move and find space and throw the ball behind his back or shovel it or whatever he has to do. Is that something, how do you, when you watch Pat Mahomes play, how do you view him as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I marvel at him. Obviously, I couldn't do anything nearly as well as he can do it. And you'd like to say, well, he's better at this, but I was better at that. No.
Right.
And I mean, I played a little NFL football. Was I a great player? No, but you kind of know what it takes back there, and you see the things that he does, and I'm just not sure we've ever seen it before. Now, we've seen parts of it. Michael Vick had, parts of what Mahomes does. He was obviously a lot faster player, but he just never seems to get rattled. It's like he is playing 7-on-7 with a bunch of huge bodies coming at him. I just marvel at him. I think everybody does. You look at what he has done, and working on my notes and everything this week. I mean, he has 17 playoff wins.
Yeah,
he has 17 playoff wins. The unfortunate thing is he's second, and he's second by a long shot. Tom Brady had 35 playoff wins. But I think what's happened too is in football you play those one possession games, right? In baseball, and I hope Jared Sandler's listening, you play those one run games, and you play enough of those, you're not going to come out on top of them all the time. They had won 17 consecutive one possession games, the Chiefs had. So the natural knee-jerk thing is, they know how to win. They know how to win close games. Well, they were 0-5 this year up until they beat Indianapolis in overtime last week. So you play enough of those close games, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. They were fortunate in years past, if you got a quarterback and a kicker, that's a pretty good combination to win close games. And the Cowboys have the same thing, obviously, with Dak and with Aubrey.
Yeah, I mean, Babe Laughenberg with us here on the Fan. Like, what a difference a year makes. Last year, we're talking about Cooper Rush versus Drew Lock, and now today we get Dak Prescott playing fantastic football versus the best quarterback in the league in Patrick Mahomes. What are you seeing from this Chiefs offense in general, and who do you think is the big guy that you have to slow down other than just Mahomes and his legs and making creative plays here? But is it Rashee Rice for you? Is it Travis Kelce? Who's the guy that you got to really lock in on?
Yeah, I mean, they have so many guys that are capable of beating you. Kelce at 36 doesn't run like he once did, but obviously we know what kind of player he is. Rashee Rice, since his 6-game suspension, he's been averaging 6 receptions a year. He's playing well. They've got Worthy with the speed, obviously, on the outside. Getting Isaiah Pacheco back today. I mean, there's so many things where you can't say, if we take this away, we beat Kansas City, right? Because they really can spread it around. And, I'm not into play callers. I always say the best play callers usually have the best players, but you can't predict what Andy Reid's going to do. I mean, everything comes at you, right? I mean, everything comes at you. So you can work all you want, and teams typically break down the last 4 games of a team. They'll go back a little farther, but you start getting convoluted when you go back to game 1. So they look at the last 4 games, and there's just different stuff that comes up every week. Hey, Travis Kelce last week took the shotgun snap down near the goal line, ran it in for a touchdown. There was a penalty. But you got to be ready for all these things, and it makes it hard for your defense.
Maybe you expecting a bounce-back CeeDee Lamb game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's too good of a player. And I don't know what happens to him, guys. You ever see the Bill Parcells clip where he's talking to Jumbo Elliott? Jumbo Elliott went to Michigan. I did not know Tracy Wolfson went to Michigan, by the way. So thank you guys for that interview. But he pointed down to if they were playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Jumbo Elliott was with the Giants. Again, played college football at Michigan. And Parcells pointing to him. He said, "Hey, now Jumbo, don't get nervous. That's not Michigan State over there in the green. That's the Philadelphia Eagles." And I don't know what it is about CeeDee Lamb, but atrocious in the opener against Philadelphia, and then had all the drops last week. But in between, he's been good. So fortunately, there's no green in these Kansas City Chiefs uniforms. So I think he'll bounce back.
Babe, when you're in a situation where you're looking at maybe how to attack Kansas City's defense, and they haven't really, the pressure numbers aren't there. You got a guy that blitzes or likes to blitz, hasn't really got home like he has in the past. He's going to have some defense at the end of the game you haven't seen. Talk about the difficulties of quarterback having to go against a guy like Steve Spagnuolo and all the things that he can do to you.
Yeah, I mean, he really mixes it up, as you know. If he doesn't feel comfortable getting to the quarterback, here comes some people. They're very creative in their blitzes, so you kind of don't get the same thing twice. He is just excellent. And, to your point, Brian, it's funny, we think of the Chiefs, right?
Right.
If you just close your eyes and you visualize the Kansas City Chiefs, you see Andy Reid and Mahomes and Kelce and maybe Taylor Swift now. But this defense has been carrying them. They've had the best defense over the last 2 years, points-wise, than any other team in the NFL. This year, they're giving up 18.3 a game. I mean, their defense is darn good. Again, we tend to go, which I understand, we go to the offense, and you got those stars over there, but this defense is tough.
No question about it. Babe Laughenberg with us here on the Fan. Are you buying into this Cowboys defense and how revamped it is?
I'm ready to buy in. It's like going for a stock. You want to do a little more research. As Ronald Reagan once said about Russia, trust but verify. And it's like, they're getting some pieces back. Overshown, has not been the player he was when he left last year, and that's understandable. He's coming off a major injury, and he hasn't played football. But he's going to get better. We'll see what Chavon Revel, is he going to keep getting better at corner? Again, you got both safeties back. You got Quinnen Williams added to the mix. So it's really, it's almost a different defense than what we saw, over the first 6, 7, 8 games because of the personnel that they have now that they didn't have then.
So what was a Babe Laughenberg Thanksgiving? How did that look like growing up, soaking in all the football and just crushing, I would imagine, 3 or 4 plates, Babe? I mean, minimum?
Minimum. I loved it just like everybody else did. And here's the one thing, guys. So my dad had one brother. We grew up in Los Angeles. His brother, my Uncle Fran, grew up in Orange County. About an hour, or I shouldn't say grew up, excuse me. As an adult, lived in Orange County, about an hour and a half away. We would alternate Thanksgivings. They'd come up to our house with my cousins, or we'd go down to their house every other year. Well, when we went to his house, he was an academic guy. Okay, he had his doctorate in education. Didn't, as Parcells would say, didn't know whether the football was blown up or stuffed. And when he got you, and you sat next to him, it was death, because the Cowboys could be driving down Roger Staubach. Here he is, 2-minute drive. There's one timeout. They're trying to get the lead, and he would talk to you about something completely unrelated to the game. And you're young, you're a kid. I wanted to say, Uncle Fran, I know you don't give a S about football, but I do. Look, Roger Staubach has the ball. We'll talk after this play. We'll talk after this series. But he's your uncle. You're 10 years old. You're paying him all the attention. And so the brothers, 3 brothers, right? They'd all point at you like behind, like he got you. But I love my uncle. Don't get me wrong. I love my Uncle Fran. You just don't want to watch a football game with him.
Yeah, man. When it's game time, I mean, we're trying to handle business right now. You got to be locked in. You got to be locked in. What's the must-have? You get 3 items on your Thanksgiving plate, babe. What's on it?
Wine.
I like that.
Can that qualify?
Just spoon that thing into your mouth.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm good with just the basics. Mashed potatoes, stuffing, and turkey. Don't need any more. That's it.
That's a beautiful trifecta, babe. We appreciate the time as always, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and enjoy the game. We'll be listening.
All right, thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Thank you. There he goes, Babe Laughenberg, with us here on The Fan, brought to you by United Healthcare. United Healthcare is the proud official healthcare partner of the Dallas Cowboys, bringing coverage you can count on to Cowboys territory. Learn more at uhc.com. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification right here on your home of the Cowboys, 105 through The Fan.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Hello, baby.
KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas-Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
Mr. Patrick Mahomes Sr. has been just a fan favorite here in the Miller Lite West Plaza, taking a bunch of photos right here. Hasn't been able to actually make his way into the stadium because you have all sorts of Chiefs fans trying to grab a pic.
They're all grabbing pics with him. Good for him.
I want to get him on the headset here.
Yeah.
Talk a little smack with him.
He was a Cowboy fan at one time.
At one time. Even Pat Mahomes himself was a Cowboys fan, and now he's making his first start here at AT&T Stadium as an NFL player. And this is going to be fantastic. We got Christy Scales joining us here in a few minutes. Brought us, I noticed, there must be something special going on because you got your Super Bowl ring on today.
I do. I just wanted to remind myself that one time in my life I was a winner. And so today,
today was the day.
Today was one of those days where I just wanted to remind myself that, but I thought I would wear it today. Actually, it's funny because I put it on, too, because Andy and I have the same one from Green Bay, but he's got a couple now from the Chiefs. But not that I'm cheering for the Chiefs today. Of course,
you better not be.
I am not a Chiefs fan today. I do love me some Andy Reid, though. He and I were like young guys growing up, and now we're a couple of old guys that are doing these things. But yeah, this is going to be. I can't say this enough. This is going to be a huge battle today because of this the way that the Chief Nation, the Chief Kingdom has shown up. This is going to be, Dallas fans are going to have their hands full. And I will say this, Kansas City fans will have their hands full too. This has got almost like a Texas OU vibe to it. And when you look at how this stadium could go today, it'll be very much you'll know which team is doing well through this fan base.
Wow, look at this Chiefs fan right here. He looks like Santa Claus. He's got the ski goggles on. He's got a crazy Chiefs logo hat on.
Yeah.
And he's riding an inflatable turkey. I mean, that is as festive as it gets right there.
It's amazing.
They're a rabid bunch.
It's amazing that you're in a situation that people letting. You got there's just a lot going on here. That's like the old in Denver. They said guy Barrel Man. And like Barrel Man didn't have anything on under the barrel, but he had the barrel on, and they let him into the game. Like wearing this big barrel.
I like that.
With the suspenders and all.
I don't know how this guy's going to sit.
I don't know how he's going to sit either.
He's literally riding an inflatable turkey.
And like if you're sitting behind him, he has got basically what would be a cheese head, but like 6-7 times the size of one. So if you're sitting behind him, how do you figure it out? Oh, then we got our UK Cowboy fans are back. 1-0, by the way. The UK Cowboy fans right here in front of us.
Oh, they were here on Sunday?
They were here on Sunday for the game, yeah. Oh, that's right. You were out. Yeah, they were here for the game, so we're in good shape here.
I love it. I love it.
7 wins 7-0 when the guys have come to the game. So.
Okay, that's our good luck charm. We need these guys today.
Absolutely.
Cowboys fans got to be loud and proud here at AT&T Stadium because there's definitely plenty of red to be seen here. Okay, now we've talked about Trey Smith being out on the offensive line for the Chiefs, but Tyler Guyton out at left tackle here for the Cowboys. Nate Thomas filling in for him.
Yeah.
How do you like Nate Thomas at left tackle, and how much of a difference does that make going from Guyton to Thomas?
Well, Nate Thomas obviously more comfortable playing the left side than the right side. If you look at what happened from last week when he went into the game, only giving up the one pressure against the Eagles. Boy, I mean, he gave up 4 or 5 pressures in that game against Arizona where he filled in, and that was a disappointing thing to see. But with him now a short week, he's been getting some opportunities. He has been getting to play. It's not like he's going into the game completely cold and blind. He is, he finished out that game the other day. He's got some good momentum. He's got some good thoughts. He's put some good tape out. George Karlaftis, though, opposite him, is going to be a handful. Karlaftis is a high effort, high motor, doesn't stop kind of player. So what happens is when you think you have George Karlaftis blocked, you have to make sure that you get him like the echo of the whistle after the whistle, because he is a guy that will find a way to disengage, spin off, somehow get in there and affect the quarterback. They have their team, as Josh was telling us earlier, they're a team that does have some pressure players. They do get some pressures. They just haven't got the sacks. But I think Nate Thomas is prepared for this matchup today against George Karlaftis.
One of the things that jumped out to me when prepping for this game was just seeing, and just from watching the games you can tell, but just how dominant Dak and this offense has been off play action this year.
Yeah.
I mean, his QBR is a 98 out of 100, Dak's is, when the Cowboys go play action, and Kansas City's given up some big time plays on play action this year, and especially over the middle of the field. I mean, they can be had there. 8 to 20 yards between the numbers, middle of the field right there, bottom third in the league in success rate and EPA per drop back. And Dak's been money. Play action over the middle of the field, whether it's the seam ball to Ferguson or you get one of those deep drag routes there from Pickens or Lamb. I think just spamming play action pass today, I think could go a long way for the Cowboys offensively. That seems like a great advantage.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you mention, because I was looking up the stat, did you mention 79% completion percentage off play action passing is what Kansas City's allowed this year.
Wow, yeah. I think they're dead balls last.
Yeah, it is about 10 yards an attempt. That's the 4th most to a quarterback off play action this year. So, yeah, it is the Cowboys, that's a big element. Now, last week against the Eagles, there was a play-action pass where Dak faked it, turned the back, and then came around.
Oh, Bond.
And Bond was standing right there, and you're lucky it wasn't picked. So the Chiefs have got those kind of linebackers that kind of lurk around with Bolden, and you just got to be careful when you turn that back. No, you're going to have to make that throw. Be totally confident and comfortable that when you come back around and where you go with the ball, that guy's going to be wide open for you.
Who are you picking on in this secondary? Because McDuffie and Watson are pretty dang good corners, but I feel like in the slot.
Yeah.
I feel like in the slot, Lamb in the slot today should go a long way.
That's really kind of been the problem for the Chief, because Chris Roland Wallace, who's normally the nickel, has been dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. They might go with Noel Williams He might be the third-round pick that they made in the last draft. He might be the guy that we see. Maybe Kevin Knowles, who was a free agent at 25, might be a guy, too, that they go with. So we'll see how they play.
That's who you pick on.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, there are people that have gone after, believe it or not, Trent McDuffie. And listen, there are going to be some matchups where I think you're going to have to try and throw the ball. Now, Trent McDuffie has not given up a lot of yards. He's about 40 yards a game when it comes to how you play him. So they're going to need somebody, whether it's one of these receivers, whether it's Pickens, whether it's Lamb, Tolbert. I'm not one of those guys. We'll see if Tolbert's active today. Maybe it's Mingo again. But one of these guys, Flournoy, are going to have to step up in this game.
All right, we're 90 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium, getting you set for Cowboys and Chiefs. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you so much for rocking with us here on your Cowboys pregame show. Let's go ahead and get the scoop from the best in the business. Cowboys sideline reporter Christy Scales joins us next right here on The Fan.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just
like your icons with blockchain.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. And by DallasCowboys.com. Keep track of the boys with daily podcasts and up-to-the-minute blogging at DallasCowboys.com and on the official Dallas Cowboys app.
All right, here we go. Under 90 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Cowboys and Chiefs. It's time to get the scoop from the best in the business. Cowboys sideline reporter Christy Scales joins us now here on your Cowboys pregame show. Christy, happy Thanksgiving to you. How the heck you doing?
I am doing awesome. This is my favorite game of the year every year, and especially having Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And Eric, I wish I could say that it's good news in terms of Cowboys secondary, going against Mahomes and the number 2 rated pass offense in the NFL this year. But starting cornerback Kalen Carson for the Cowboys, who left last week's game dehydrated, right, early in the third quarter and went in for an IV, came back after missing a couple series, was out there for one play before he came off to the sideline again and missed the remainder of the game. His early pregame workout did not go well, so the Cowboys are down a starting cornerback today. Kalen Carson is inactive.
Okay, that is a bummer. That is definitely a bummer, Christy.
Yeah.
So
what's going to happen is Revel, right? Yeah, so Savone Revel, the Cowboy rookie, is going to start. So he and Bland will play outside corner. And then when they go into a nickel situation, Reddy Stewart, who was the nickel at the beginning of the season and actually played quite a bit more last week than he had, or the last couple weeks than he did, during the month of October, he'll be playing in the nickel. And then you have the rookie Triquez Bridges, who'll be available as the backup today. And then knowing Carson's situation from Sunday, the Cowboys went ahead and elevated from the practice squad Corey Ballantyne, who's one of these, veterans who's been with many, many teams, but they added him a couple months ago to the roster to the practice squad for depth at cornerback for in case a situation like this arose. It has, and so now he's elevated. But yeah, when I saw Kalen Carson out there working with Britt Brown, and I thought, oh man, this better go well, and it didn't.
Christy Scales with us here on The Fan. Okay, so any other inactives that we need to know about?
Yeah, well, you've been talking about Tyler Guyton being inactive, the Cowboys left tackle, so Nate Thomas is going to get the start. A couple of differences from last week. Jonathan Mingo was active for the game on Sunday against Philadelphia, and Jalen Tolbert was coach's decision inactive. They flipped that back to the way it's been all the other weeks. So Tolbert is active today. Mingo is down. Jaden Blue inactive, the rookie running back, again this week. And then 2 of the defensive linemen are down, just like they were on Sunday, Philadelphia, just because somebody's got to be inactive, and they're having to go a little long at defensive back. So Perrion Winfrey still waiting to make his Cowboys debut. He's inactive today, as is the rookie defensive lineman Jay Toia.
All right, and when it comes to Thanksgiving festivities, I mean, just give us a lay of the land here for any Cowboys fans that are making their way out to the stadium.
Yeah, so Post Malone at halftime. I'm told that they've just finished his haircut. He's got a large contingent of people here and a big posse of folks. But, of course, he's a local guy from Grapevine, right? He was just speaking with his dad. His dad, Rich Post, was director of concessions here for many years at AT&T Stadium, so got to catch up with him for a few minutes. But he's going to do 3 songs at halftime, so that's going to be fantastic. Taylor Swift, I know I've gotten a lot of questions and tweets. It's like, is she going to be here? And I'm told yes, but we've been asked to not say where she's going to be just for security reasons, but we're told that she will be here today. And then, of course, once again, the league is using not only this Cowboys game, but all 3 games played in the NFL on Thanksgiving to honor the late John Madden. And so once again, players are going to be wearing a John Madden patch on the front of their jersey. It's a silhouette of John Madden. The coin that's used for the coin toss, one side, the head side, is going to be a silhouette of Madden, and the other side, the tail side, is going to be the turducken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to have the 6-legged turducken for that. And then there are banners along the end zone near the Red Salvation Army kettles, and then there's orange logo that's painted in the sideline area about 5 yards into the beyond the line of scrimmage, between the 20-yard line and the 10-yard line, saying Happy Thanksgiving and with John Madden's signature. So, yeah, I think it's a great way to honor the, all that John Madden brought to the game, and making the game special for all of us growing up watching him, and putting turducken into the American lexicon.
Christy, just my final question for you. Longer halftime then, right, than they normally have?
Yeah, 20 minutes, so longer. And then also the game is kicking off a little bit later. 3:30 has been the kick instead of 3:25, just because of the window, right, for the networks. But the kickoff's actually going to be 3:40 today, and that's because the early game, the Detroit game that they host every year, of course, that would usually kick off at 11:30 Central, correct? This year they've moved it to where it kicked off later at noon, and so just to make sure that game is over and has plenty of time to conclude and there's no run over or anything, I'm told that kickoff today is at 3:40.
I love it, Christy. Well, thank you so much for all the info. You are absolutely fantastic. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and we'll go ahead and catch up with you again next hour.
Sounds good. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Absolutely. There she goes, Cowboys sideline reporter Christy Scales with us here on The Fan. Today's game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Tastes like Miller time. And we continue inching closer and closer to kickoff here, Broadus. Do you feel confident that the Cowboys are going to be able to handle these exotic Spagnola blitzes?
Well, I don't know how much you're going to see. Now, it is a veteran team, a veteran defense. So, yeah, if he were to call something, they're probably pretty cool at being able to execute that. But on a short week, how exotic are you going to be? Now, maybe, like I said, I think he's going to save something for if they have to get off the field.
Yeah.
If it's a 3rd down, 4th down, maybe final drive of the game. It's the post game. It's like, oh, Spags came with this blitz we hadn't seen all day. I don't think it's going to be – his MO is to blitz. And will Dallas – how much do you want to blitz Dak Prescott, who handles blitzes well? He's got a line that's done a pretty good job of handling blitzes, and he's got a back in Williams that's really good at blitz pickup. So he has to be very mindful of all those elements from the Cowboys.
You think the Cowboys will have a good opportunity to run the football today, or is today all about play action and pushing the ball?
They've run the ball. There's been times where they've played defenses that I felt were pretty good run defensive units, and they've been able to get, we were talking about the Raiders. The one thing the Raiders could do, they were giving up only about 3.7 yards a carry inside. They were able to attack that. They attacked the inside for the Philadelphia Eagles with their linebackers and defensive tackles. So I would anticipate Dallas is going to be who they are, trying to run the football.
And on the flip side, with the 5-man line stuff defensively, is that another good play for the Cowboys today versus the Chiefs?
Well, you got to be mindful, too, of, 5-man line. Does that make you have pressure? Are you going to get pressure? I think what it does, it allows you to have those one-on-one matchups inside, but then the ball will get almost to the edge a little bit if they want to run the ball. Kansas City is a downhill running team with Pacheco and then with Hunt. So you have to be very, very mindful of that. That 5-man line will help you there. You're a little bit susceptible to the counters and things like that. So we'll see how much Kansas City, if they run the ball on the edges with the counters and the pullers and stuff like that.
All right, this is going to be a big one here. Should be coming down to the wire. Fantastic game that we are in store for. And if you're coming out to the game today, make sure you try the Legends Hospitality Thanksgiving Roll. Savory herb dressing, green beans, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, and house pecan and hickory smoked turkey, bundled and fried in a crispy, delicious egg roll wrap, served with turkey gravy for dipping. How about that? That was absolutely 10 out of 10 fantastic.
Oh, it was awesome. Well done by them.
Yeah, I mean, Legends always gets it done, but then Thanksgiving, they just crank it up another notch.
Yeah.
They crank it up another notch for you. So if you're making your way out here today, you're going to have a great opportunity to eat it all up. All right, we're just over 60 minutes to kick off, and it's a loaded hour with head coach Brian Schottenheimer. We'll hear from Jerry Jones, and, of course, more Super Bowl winning analysis from Brian Broaddus. That's next, right here on The Fan.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back, and it's still bigger and better than any chicken sandwich out there. More chicken strips, more Monterey Jack cheese smothered in buffalo and ranch, all on a 5-inch bun. There's so much crispy, cheesy, saucy goodness, you may find yourself speechless when someone asks what's your favorite part. Not because you can't find the words, just because it's hard to talk when your mouth's full with this much deliciousness. The Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back for a limited time. What a burger.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here, official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys and Yeti ambassador. If you're shopping for a Dallas Cowboys fan this holiday season, check out Yeti's line of insulated drinkware and barware. They look sharp with the star permanently etched on. Or give them a custom Yeti hard cooler that will level up their tailgate season after season. My other suggestion is to give them a rack of smoked ribs, but a Yeti will last longer. Shop Yeti.com for custom Cowboys gear.
Just steps from AT&T Stadium, the all-new National Medal of Honor Museum in Arlington brings America's stories of courage and service to life. Walk through immersive exhibits. Rescue wounded soldiers aboard a VR Huey rescue mission. Interview Medal of Honor recipients and hear their incredibly true stories firsthand. Real people, real stories, real close. This is the Medal of Honor. Plan your visit today at MOH Museum.
Left corner of the end zone, 1-for-1. Caught the ball. Touchdown. Touchdown, Cowboys.
With Brad Schaub, Babe Laughenberg, Christy Scales, Eric Chiafalo, and Brian Broaddus. Brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Also brought to you by Bell Nunnally, behind every great company. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. Volleman's Dairy, the official milk of the Dallas Cowboys. Tyson Foods, get your Tyson Cowboys Star Nuggets available now. And by DallasCowboys.com. Keep track of the boys with daily podcasts and up-to-the-minute blogging at DallasCowboys.com and on the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here's Eric Chiafalo and Brian Broaddus.
All right, we're just over 60 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. A picture-perfect day here in Arlington for some Thanksgiving Cowboys football. Great to have you in the official pregame show of America's team live here on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. Come see us in the Miller Lite West Plaza if you're making your way out to the game. Cowboys and Chiefs. I'm Eric Chiafalo alongside the Super Bowl champion Brian Broaddus, and we are ready to break this bad boy down and get you set for kickoff here. Broaddus, how the heck you doing?
Doing well, Eric. It seems like I do this every year. I know since I told you in the first hour, like 1974, I remember my first Thanksgiving Cowboy game. It happened to be the game that Clint Longley brought the Cowboys back against the then Washington Redskins in a game where Roger Staubach was knocked out of the game. Wow. And so, yeah, but it's
Football Encyclopedia, Cowboys Encyclopedia, Super Bowl champion Brian Broaddus.
A lot of days of doing this. So yeah, it's we've kind of gotten used to working on these holidays, though, haven't we?
No doubt.
And they gave us a good one today.
Yeah.
They gave us. You mentioned like last year, you were dealing with backup quarterbacks.
Cooper Rush versus Drew Lock is what we were setting the table for last year, and now we get Dak playing maybe at the height of his powers versus the best quarterback in the league in Pat Mahomes, making his first start at AT&T Stadium here as the White House, Texas native. And this is going to be a big one. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Also brought to you by SeatGeek. Man, let's start with this Chiefs offense here. It has not been the fireworks show that we had been accustomed to over the last 5-6 years for sure. But they moved the ball extremely well. Pat Mahomes is still very, very lethal. They had a big overtime win versus the Colts on Sunday, but they played 91 offensive snaps. Travis Kelce played 84 snaps. That's the most he's played in a game since 2018.
I was going to say since he was at the University of Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how he's feeling going into this one today, but it's a playoff environment, and it's playoff desperation mode really for both of these teams here. How do you see the Cowboys trying to go about slowing down this Chiefs offense?
Well, that part of it is, and I was talking earlier, this is one of the most unconventional quarterbacks that you'll ever play against, and now you're having to play him on a short week. And, you know, he's at a disadvantage, you're at a disadvantage because it's not a common opponent. But you watch the tape and you see with Patrick Mahomes and what he's able to do, his ability to run the football, his ability to make plays with nothing really seems like the play's dead. Then all of a sudden he's throwing the ball behind his back, or he's running and then lateraling the ball to somebody who's in open space. He's got this rare ability to play the game almost like a playground effect.
Yeah,
and
total command.
It makes it difficult to have to deal with somebody that plays that way because you just don't know when that big play is going to happen. Last week with Jalen Hurts, you kind of had an idea he's going to hold the ball, he's going to move around. Mahomes is really much the same way. He's going to hold the ball, move around, but you have to be very, very conscious of him taking off and running with the football. A lot of their 10-plus run plays this year have been him just dropping back, not seeing what's going on, or seeing what's going on, and then taking off and running.
Yeah, they've had to be extremely methodical. They don't have much explosive plays really through the air, and especially on the ground. It looks like Tyquan Thornton is their deep ball guy. He's not really a household name, but if you're talking about a big pass play down the field for the Chiefs, he's probably going to be that guy unless Rashee Rice is able to catch like a 10-yard ball and break some tackles.
Well, that's their big deal, though. They're very much at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, a few yards beyond the line of scrimmage. They're a team that likes to throw the ball, try and get it into their speed guys' hands, and then make something happen, run after catch. This is going to be the challenge today. They're a really good defensive tackling team, and so you almost have to match their tackling ability in this game, because if you don't tackle right off the jump, there's a chance you can give up some big plays.
Yeah, the quick passing game for Mahomes has been the bread and butter here.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a little bit concerned about Eberflus just running out this soft zone coverage like we've seen all season long.
Right.
Mahomes has diced that up this year. I think this is one of those games you got to get up and disrupt these wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, maybe play a little bit more man coverage, because if you don't and you just sit back, then you really are going to have a dominant Quinnen Williams and Osa game. And I think you should get that either way, especially with Trey Smith, their all-world right guard, out for this game. I think that could be the difference.
Yeah, Dallas, and the one thing is Mahomes has struggled this year with his accuracy when it comes to interior pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned with no Trey Smith in this football game, that puts Kansas City in a little bit of a bind where they're going to have to figure out, okay, how are we going to play the double team blocks? Where's Creed Humphrey going to help? My gut feeling is that he is probably going to have to deal with Caliendo, the guard who's taken Trace Smith's spot in this football game. They're not going to let Trey Smith. They're not going to let Caliendo block one-on-one. When the snaps that he's played this year, his pressure rate is right about 10%, and he has played over like 140 drop back passes, which is the most pressure rate of any of the Kansas City offensive linemen. So Mahomes' ability to move and buy second chances and stuff is really the deodorant for some of the pressures that this team has not given up. His ability to move around has really, really helped them.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge factor in this game. And Quinnen Williams, I mean, he's just like, man, one guy cannot block this dude.
Yeah.
And now you have the five-man front stuff that they're working in, which is so much fun with Kenny Clark and Osa and Quinnen Williams. And over the last couple of weeks since Quinnen Williams arrived here, Osa and Williams have led the league in quick pressures right there in the interior. So that is exactly how you're going to have to approach this game today, dominating the line of scrimmage, especially the inside three there.
Yeah.
And that'll go a long way in determining this game. All right, we are just getting started here at AT&T Stadium, 1 hour away from kickoff. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And let's go ahead and get you the Coach's Corner today. We'll hear from head coach Brian Schottenheimer coming up next. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Oil, the official oil of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cowboys Nation is big because everything's bigger in Texas. And Reliant has the energy to power it all. From home field advantage to home sweet home.
today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Under 60 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. A picture-perfect day here in Arlington. Cowboys and Chiefs will go into the owner's box and hear from Jerry Jones coming up in just a few minutes. But right now it's time for today's Coach's Corner. The voice of the Cowboys, Brad Sham, standing by with Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer.
Thank you, guys. I wished Brian Schottenheimer a premature happy Thanksgiving last week, so now I'll say it twice this time. So happy Thanksgiving, first of all. I would like to get into a little psychological coaching 101. You, as a head coach, you've always got a line to walk to know how much to pat and how much to push, right? And you went through unimaginable, horrible difficulties a couple of weeks ago. Then you come out of the Raider game, and now you are riding this emotional crest, and you have the game you have against Philadelphia. On a short week, how do you decide how much to
revel in the emotion and hope that momentum self-sustains? And how much do you feel the need to just tap the brakes and, fellas, we've still got like 6 games to play. This is one game, and you can't play last week's game again, win or lose. How do you do that?
Well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you. I think no matter what week it is after the big win we had, we should say happy Thanksgiving every week moving forward, just in case that's part of the...
Well, trust me, we will.
Okay, good. Well, let's make sure we do our part today and get a big win. Honestly, Brad, I trust my gut. I trust my instincts. I read the room. I think that's one of my strengths. I'm able to read the room, and I'm always going to be authentic. I'm always going to be real. But I truly do believe in you trust the process, and that it truly is one game at a time. So whether you slip up and you don't play well and you lose to Arizona, or you come back from a 21-0 deficit against Philadelphia, or whether you beat the Giants or you tie Green Bay, the process doesn't change. What does change is people want to talk more about the record and the playoff race this time of year, and that's fine. I understand that. But to me, it's about if you're playing good football, you have a chance to win. And when you win and you continue to stack wins, that gives you your best chance to pursue and make the playoffs. And I think our group is built to do that. But we have to do it again today against a very, very, very good, very talented, championship-built team in Kansas City.
Your players know the standings, right? They know you don't approach from that perspective a game now the way you would in the third week of September. There's got to be a little psychological difference for them that you're in charge of trying to massage, is there not?
Yeah, the biggest thing I say, though, is just, again, we go out and we want to stack wins. I mean, it's not, we've won 2 in a row. Well, let's get 3. And then if we get 3, you can get 4. If you don't get 3, you can't get 4, and then you have to start a new streak. And so that's what we talk about. But again, it's the day-to-day. What people don't realize about our game is how much time and effort goes into meetings and practice. The game is supposed to be fun, and it is fun, but if you start thinking about the game and what's going to happen today against Kansas City, and you don't put in the time that we put in on Monday, getting their bodies back in meeting, and then Tuesday, then you're not going to have as good a chance to be successful when the ball's kicked off.
All right. Similarly, coaching psychology. I'd like you to peel the curtain back at halftime. Now, this is going to be a little different today. You've got a few extra minutes because of Post Malone. Happy Thanksgiving. But normally you've got 12 minutes. There's this great myth that you go in and make all these coaching adjustments and the smoke is flying off the chalkboard. And the reality is, in 12 minutes, by the time everybody goes to the bathroom and has an orange slice, it's about time to turn around and go back. What happened at halftime last week? And there is a kind of a social media narrative going around that some of your players were a little more vocal at halftime, Quinnen and a few others. So what can you tell us about that, and what do you normally do at halftime anyway?
Yeah, well, the first thing I will say is I do think you felt the leadership of a number of our guys last week. I'm not going to point names because, honestly, when I was in making the adjustments on the offensive side of the ball that we had to make, you could hear the conversations out there, and the louder, stronger voices definitely could be heard as we're making the adjustments. But that's healthy. I mean, that's what great teams do. And I've always said, we'll know we've got the magic sauce when this is completely a player-led locker room, and they lead themselves, and I'm there to guide the ship and break ties and things like that. But it was great to see, and quite honestly, you make the adjustments, and then I just had a real honest conversation with them. I said, basically, the point of the conversation was we didn't play very well. Okay, they didn't do anything to beat us in that first half. We have to play better. And then I literally asked the question, do you guys believe we can win this game? And to a man, every single one of them, absolutely, they roared yes. And look at what we did.
I don't know how much time you even have in a week like this to look at some of the things that you didn't like from your perspective, but what can you do about the red zone offense?
Yeah, again, I mean, I think, you look at the red zone and, we really haven't studied it, much. We looked at the game twice and as a staff. And again, this is one of those weeks where you have to do what you're doing well. And, there's a few calls I'd like to have back. Again, I think you get down there, you got to have the ability to run the football in. But the first thing I'll say we need to fix is penalties. You can't have false start penalties on the 1 yard line. We did that against Denver. We did it last game. You shoot yourselves in the foot. And when you're first and goal at the 1 or the 2, we're going to get in. But when you push yourself back to first and goal from the 7 or the 6 or whatever, then the momentum kind of is lost a little bit. And so I think that's where we have to clean that stuff up and not beat ourselves.
Do you have any favorite Thanksgiving football memories?
Not really. Probably hanging out with some of my teammates at Coach Spurrier's house when I was playing at Florida. That was kind of fun. And again, I love watching football. And if I'm not doing football, I want to be watching football.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
All right, fellas, back to you.
Thank you, Brad. There is today's Coach's Corner, brought to you by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. We're live here on the Dallas Cowboys radio network here at AT&T Stadium, getting you set for Cowboys and Chiefs. Happy Thanksgiving to you. You just heard Schottenheimer talking about the red zone offense for the Cowboys. It's been a bit of a struggle.
It has.
And we know the Chiefs' offense has struggled in the red zone as well. I mean, that could be a real difference maker in the game today, with both offenses probably being able to move the ball, but who can actually get the 6 and not have to settle for 3? What do you want to see from the Cowboys in the red zone? What's been going wrong?
Well, they've had plays where it's been negative plays. Like for example, you run the ball and you get down there in a situation where you could score. You're at the 1 or the 2, and then Schotty goes away and starts throwing the football. Instead of just going ahead and hammering that thing in with Williams, I think they need to go back to a little bit more of that old school mentality.
It needs to be the Javonte Williams.
Yeah, it needs to be like, if you're going to go for it down there, don't sit there and run the ball one time and get it to the 2 or the 1 and then turn around and try and get cute down there. They've had some problems, too, with some penalties, with motion penalties, sacks. They've had things where it gets a little cluttered down there, and all of a sudden Dak, having to throw it away, having to maybe scramble, protection breakdown. But to me, it's going to be about a little bit more of a mindset of taking Williams and taking Hunter Lipke and Spanford and those guys and Booker and just coming off the football and then blocking somebody and finding a way to get 1 or 2 yards down there. But there's been times where they've got it inside the 5, and then the play caller flips the page on what's got him down there, and now he's running plays that you're like, Brian, just you get a first and goal, hand the ball off 4 times and see what happens. If you give up a negative play, if you give up another negative play, I get it. But to be able to get the ball down there, we saw it last week with Ferguson. You get the ball down there inside the 2-yard line, and all of a sudden you're kind of like, what's going on here? You get stopped, on 4th down. So, they've got to do a much better job of when it turns into that, like that first and goal to goal. They got to find a way to become that running back toughness, Williams, that you're talking about.
And I think just throughout the game today offensively, you got to be spamming the play-action game.
Yeah.
Dak's been so lethal this year, and the Chiefs have struggled mightily versus the play-action passing game. I think that's going to be something that you're going to have to rock and roll with heavy if you're Schotty.
Yeah, this is something that Kansas City has struggled with, and they've had problems with teams that have been able to play off play action, and Dak Prescott is one of the best play action quarterbacks in the National Football League. But just make sure when you turn your back to that defense and you come back that you know where everybody is on that field, and that's where I think where Steve Spagnuolo could be a little bit of a problem. He can create looks of pressure, simulated pressure.
Send a robber down there in the middle.
Exactly, yeah. Send a robber down in the middle of the defense. You just, as much as Dallas runs the crossing routes and stuff, and that has to be a concern of Kansas City today, with Dallas catching the ball on the move on some of these crossing routes.
45 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Let's go into the owner's box with Jerry Jones. That's coming up next. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis.
Dallas Cowboys. Arrow Exterminators, official pest control provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. And by DallasCowboys.com. Keep track of the boys with daily podcasts and up-to-the-minute blogging at DallasCowboys.com and on the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Here's Eric Giafalo and Brian Broaddus.
It's a beautiful day for some Thanksgiving Cowboys football here in Arlington. Now 40 minutes to kick off. We'll get you the Brian Broaddus Zebra Report here in just a few minutes, but right now it's time to throw it into the owner's box, and it's Christy Scales standing by with Jerry Jones.
Jerry, happy Thanksgiving. I know this is your favorite home game because with a possible 50 million people watching today, and we're told that it may be an all-time record, but the attention that you can bring to Salvation Army with your red kettle kickoff.
It's really special. I'm looking at these red kettles on the end right now, and I'm remembering the players that have jumped in them after they've scored. Now, standing here on the 50, I hope the Cowboys are jumping in them a lot today. We're going to need them. But, no, what a great tradition. We have all the leaders in the country of the Salvation Army here, and I've just joined them for a little bite of lunch, and it's such a privilege to be associated with a group of people that literally have given their lives to do something that nobody else really has their qualifications. While people are having a meeting on it, thinking about it, they put shoes on people so fast, they put food in their bellies. They get that Christmas when they weren't going to have a Christmas. They're professionals, and that's why I believe so much in the Salvation Army. This game and the visibility of this game, that 50 million people you were talking about, has incrementally raised the Salvation Army over the last 29 years over $3 billion more dollars. Because you have the perfect combination of country sitting around having Thanksgiving, not necessarily the biggest fans, but they're here that day, and we get to pay tribute or show them what Salvation Army is about.
And also the willingness of some of the most popular artists in the country to lend their talents to the show. And Jerry, having Post Malone today, and the fact that Post, his father Rich Post, worked here as the director of concessions at AT&T Stadium, I guess you're keeping it all in the family.
Well, we must be. He slept on cots for about 6 or 7 years in the belly of Texas Stadium, because he would get off school and his mom was still working. She'd worked to about 8 or 9. Well, he'd go there and finish up and nap while his dad was still working, but then she'd come by and get him and take him on home for the rest of the night. So he really was raised on the Cowboys.
A couple of football questions for you today this Thanksgiving. What a treat to have Patrick Mahomes playing his first game as a pro in AT&T Stadium. And I ask you, as an owner, but also someone who appreciates the game of football, having played it yourself at a national championship level in college, what do you appreciate about Patrick Mahomes, not just his game on the field, but what he brings to the NFL?
Well, I just think that competition just jumps out when you think of any part of Patrick Mahomes. If you look back when he was competing in high school level, and he came from a competitive family, and he plays that way. And frankly, I get the idea that he really doesn't care for how it's drawn up. Now, believe you me, he's one of the smartest players there are. But he just wants to get it done, that play, and so he's fighting for every inch. So he's formidable. He's the best there is.
So what is the key to stopping him, and especially that Mahomes to Travis Kelce connection that's worked so well for so long?
I just think he'll hold on. And now we're going to have some stops, and we're going to be we've done a lot of getting ready for him, but still you got to give him his due, and we're certainly going to have to make some plays against them.
We appreciate it. Thanks so much, Jerry. Happy Thanksgiving. As we continue counting down to Chiefs and Cowboys here on this holiday, let's go back out to the plaza and rejoin Eric and Brian.
Thank you, Christy. Today's Owner's Box brought to you by Yeti, the official cooler of the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves along the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Hello, baby.
KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas-Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
And now it is time for the Brian Broaddus Zebra Report, brought to you by Arrow Exterminators, the official pest control provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Broaddus, what are we in store for?
Yeah, you got John Hussey today.
Oh!
John Hussey was your official in the Carolina game this year. So,
that's not good.
And so, but a pretty fair game, 6 for Carolina, 6 for you. So called it a pretty even game there.
He's the guy that's so I love the way
very robotic,
he does the hand gestures. The false starts are just he's making music out there.
Exactly. Very robotic in the way he calls. But he tends to call more penalties towards the home teams. If you look at the 10 games that they've worked so far this year. Offensive holding has been a big call for them. Defensive pass interference has been another big call. Illegal formation. Okay, if you're one of these teams that's trying to cheat how you're going to get your tackles off the ball, John Hussey's crew is not going to allow that to happen. So got to be mindful, be up on the ball. This crew likes the illegal formation call. You've also unnecessary roughness. He's one of those that's an official that doesn't like to lose control of the football game, so he's going to make a few of those calls. Delay of game is something we've always talked about. Be mindful, watch the clock, and then be careful of this one. Too many men on the field. They are very much a mindful group when it comes to substitution patterns.
Okay.
And so we'll see Kansas City try to get guys off and on, Dallas trying to get guys off and on. John Hussey's crew, sometimes they'll let you get away with it, other times not. Got to make sure that those substitutions are clean today.
Okay, there it is, the Brian Broaddus Zebra Report as we get you set for Cowboys and Chiefs Thanksgiving football here at AT&T Stadium. Christy Scales gave us the word earlier. Kalen Carson at corner out for this game. He was the Brian Broaddus breakout player for the second half of the season. He's come back and looked pretty solid in his short stint here in year number 2. So what do you think that does to the secondary today? I mean, now you'll get Rebel starting, Bland, more ready Stewart. What's the confidence meter slowing down this Chiefs passing attack?
I was really hopeful because with Carson the last couple of weeks, he had played well against the Raiders and then turned around and had a decent game against Philadelphia. Unfortunately, he's back on the injured list. You know, he had the dehydration, the cramps and all that, went out and tried to play, and it was probably still in that dehydration mode and got injured. So, you know, hopefully he'll be back sooner than later. He's missed a lot of time already in his young career. But, yeah, this throws the Cowboys into a little bit of a situation where they'll have to play with Bridges a little more in this football game. And Bridges was a guy that was playing early, was getting kind of picked on a little bit. If you look at the 3rd down and 2 play last week where Hurts got sacked, he was in coverage and his guy was open. Fortunately, Hurts didn't see him. So, it's you're a little compromised not having Carson. I just think it's terrible that they're in a situation where he's been a young guy, he hadn't played a lot, and now he's once again injured.
Does it make it tougher to try and put Revel on Kelsey?
In that way, yeah, it would be. But maybe what you have to figure out, though, is how do you match it across the board? And so if you really feel like, though, that, okay, where are they going to go with the ball on 3rd down? Is it going to be Worthy? Where are they going with that ball? Rice, Worthy. You got to determine, okay, who are the guys on 3rd down? Give me the 1 and the 2 of the guys on 3rd down and make sure those 2 guys are covered up.
I love it. All right, it's your Cowboys pregame show. 32 minutes to kick off here at AT&T Stadium. Let's go inside the booth and chat it up with the voice of the Cowboys, Brad Sham. That is coming up next. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal, writing a story 50 years.
Well, there's no question it's better. Is it good enough to slow down Mahomes today?
Well, maybe. Look, this is what I'm going to say about Mahomes, not for the last time today. When you watch Mahomes, you just understand that you're watching Baryshnikov, you're watching Mozart, you're watching the greatest painters, artists, actors, musicians. This guy is a genuine treasure as a talent. And so what I want to say, Eric, is that here's the key. You've got to take advantage of the fact they're missing their right guard, and you've got to disrupt him. And the problem with that is that's when he's really dangerous, because then he'll look at Kelsey and blink his eyes 3 times. They'll make up a play and pick up 40 yards. The thing about it is let's play 7-on-7, Eric, and I'll take Mahomes, Rice, Worthy, Kelsey, and Smith-Schuster. And you take whatever Cowboys you want. In 7-on-7.
You might have the edge.
I win 9 times out of 10, and the 10th time I'm giving you just in case somebody falls down. Now the good news is it's football, so you've got you've got protection, you got all that stuff. So and then you've got to score on offense. You got to put the pressure on them and cannot let them run like they did last week. It's doable, but the fact that. And that's why I'm not even entertaining thoughts of Cooper Rush and whatever that was last year, because a month ago, if you had said, I think if the right things happen, the Cowboys have a chance to beat the Chiefs. We'd have had to have you committed, son.
Brad, which defensive coordinator is going to have the biggest struggle on the short week, though?
Look, I'm never going to say anything against Spagnuolo, because you and I, Brian, remember 2007.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think was the best Cowboys team of the last 30 years to have not made it to a Super Bowl. And they're 13-3, number 1 seed, and leading the New York Giants at halftime, and the defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, came up with a whole new set of wrinkles at halftime and took that Cowboys team out of the game. And he's been doing that ever since. So I'm going to say whoever is not Spagnuolo has the toughest time.
Brad Sham with us here on your Cowboys pregame show. Brad, off the top of my head, I don't recall what the Red Zone sponsor is, but I think we'd like to see it be the Javonte Williams Red Zone here today and try and punch this thing in on the ground.
The funny thing is, and our producer Zach Rowe will check me, but I don't think the crack sales staff has sold the red zone. What they've sold is the defensive red zone, which they call the green zone, which I still maintain. Show me the card, Zach. Garda World is the sponsor. No, it's Garda World. Garda World. When the other team's in their red zone, then the Cowboys are defending the Garda World defensive red zone. And I've said now, Zach, I've now said Garda World 4 times. So let's make a note of that, because, ladies and gentlemen, there is no such thing as the defensive red zone. It does not exist.
No,
okay.
No.
Now, but your question's extremely well taken, and that's why I asked Schottenheimer on his show before the game. What do you got to do in the red zone? And you heard him say, we got to run the ball better and blah, blah, blah. But the number one thing is you got to cut out the penalties. And if you watched the Chiefs-Colts game last week, then you saw mirror images of the Cowboys-Eagles game. So penalties, stop doing penalties. Because we're going to find, Babe and I are going to go down there, we're going to find who coaches penalties. And we're going to fire that guy, and we're going to deport him to Peru and send him to the top of the mountains to contemplate his navel, because we don't need him coaching these penalties anymore.
Well, Brad, you actually made Eric's day by not saying his question actually made some sense.
Well-received question. Yeah, that's a Thanksgiving.
That's a plus. It only took us 13 weeks, but here we are.
Well, every blind squirrel finds an acorn.
There we go.
Amen to that.
There we go.
Hey, you got Uncrustables on your Thanksgiving menu today, Brad, or what's your go-to protein?
I ate. The big question was. Oh, wait! I'm glad you asked me that. I'll do this fast. But the question I asked the guy in the lunch line was, hey, do I have turkey or ham? And he said, well, I went with ham. I said, okay, well, I'll do both. But here's the best thing. They got this great big bowl. Now, this is not protein. But they got this great big bowl of dressing. And this guy is on the other side of the buffet line, and he, as we're each spooning stuff onto our plates, he says, is this stuffing or dressing? And I said, what's the difference? And he said, I don't know, but I'm from Alabama, and we called it dressing. Yeah. And I said, that's great. Let me ask you this. Did they take the dressing and stuff it into the turkey?
They did.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm. I said, that might qualify as stuffing.
There it is.
Whatever you call it, just have another helping because it's Thanksgiving.
Amen to that. Brad, you're the man. We appreciate the time.
All right, fellas.
Enjoy the
Thank
game.
you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Voice of the Cowboys, Brad Sham, and now we throw it onto the turf here of AT&T Stadium and get the Christy Scales keys to the game, brought to you by Pollock Aurora, proud supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Christy, what do you know?
Well, you guys have been talking about the red zone, green zone, whatever terminology you want to use. I see that as the key today. I mean, we know that this game features the two top-rated passing offenses in the NFL in terms of passing yards. Cowboys number 1, Chiefs number 2, and the Chiefs offense has moved the ball really well. But for the past month, what's happened is they've been stalling out in the red zone. Sunday against the Colts, they reached the red zone 6 times, but only scored 1 touchdown. They had to settle for 4 field goals. They also lost a fumble. And take it the past 3 games, just look at the month of November for the Chiefs, and they've had 13 trips into the red zone and have scored only 4 touchdowns, had to settle for 7 field goals and have 2 turnovers. So the question today is, I think that the Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to be able to move the ball through the air, but can the Cowboys defense stand up in the Garter World red zone? So far, they haven't done a good job at that this year. They're 3rd worst in the league. Opponents have scored touchdowns on 69% of their trips. So I see, the ball moving up and down the field, both directions for both offenses, but can the Cowboys defense make some stops in the red zone? I've also see that both of these defenses for the Chiefs and the Cowboys, they've been good in the run game, right? I mean, the Cowboys, since Quinnen Williams arrived, they've allowed, just 90 rushing yards the last 2 games combined. And then look what the Chiefs were able to do against Jonathan Taylor and the Colts last week. So 62% of Taylor's runs last week for the Colts, he was hit behind the line of scrimmage. So I see the movement through the air today, guys.
I love it, Christy. And can you reset us on what the plan is in the secondary for the Cowboys today?
Yeah, so Kalen Carson, who left Sunday's game with the because of dehydration and cramping, that hamstring not able to loosen up, he is not playing today. He's inactive. So that means that rookie Savone Revel is going to start at cornerback along with Deron Bland. And when they go in the nickel, then Reddy Stewart will move in and play in the slot in the nickel situations.
Awesome, Christy. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the game. We'll be listening.
Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back at halftime for the Post Malone concert for the Red Kettle kickoff.
Let's go. Looking forward to it. There she goes, Cowboys sideline reporter Christy Scales with us here on your pregame show. Broadus, prediction?
Man, I was thinking that maybe that Kansas City was going to win this thing. I'm thinking I'm going to go with Dallas. I think it's another walk-off field goal, 27-24 Dallas.
Okay, I got the same score, but I got the Chiefs winning.
You got the Chiefs, there you go. You got it covered. There you go.
I'm scared of Mahomes, but there it is. Your pregame show in the books, and your Thanksgiving kickoff is right around the corner with Brad, Babe, and Christy. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just wear your Cowboys gear and save 25% on your oil change. No huddle, no overtime. Just drive in, stay in your car, and roll out. You'll be tailgate ready in 10 minutes.